Okay.
All right. Okay, I'd already told my wife, like, hey, this vaccine thing, we ain't doing this shit.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'd already
Hey,
told
1 second, bro. I gotta.
my wife, like, hey,
So I'm a Yakuza. We gonna have Dawiyah do the reading, okay?
Coca.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
See if it works, man.
I can hear you. I can hear you. So I'm a Yakuza. We gonna have Dawiyah do the reading, okay? That's a mad delay. I'm here. Can you hear me?
See if it works, man. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure.
I can hear you. I can hear you. So I'm a Yakuza. We gonna that's a delay. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure.
I can hear you.
Probably do it. Let me cut this off. 1 second, bro. Hey, I got the Zoom on the big screen. The computer and I have this delay echo. Yeah, it has a delay.
You sound distorted, Coca. I can't really hear you.
That's him going back over the thing.
I can hear you probably better now.
Yeah, it has a delay.
so it's not computing.
Maybe. Hello?
You sound distorted, Coca.
That's him going back over the thing. Now we on a loop on the Yakuza.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I just now added more to it. I'm a Yakuza.
Yeah.
A brother from California from another camp, our camp in the old days. I just got the news earlier today that a brother got shot and he got killed, but I thought he got shot. He didn't get shot and killed. What happened? Hey, Dawiyah, why don't you take it off of live until you get it?
I'm saying right now. I don't hear him on the TV. I hear him on the computer, but the computer's like, we're getting the YouTube feed, not the Zoom feed. We're getting the Zoom feed from the computer, right?
Yeah.
YouTube feed
So,
it says live YouTube.
Brother was working one of these jobs. You know, the most popular job now is doing deliveries for companies that need, you know, the restaurants and stuff that can't have in-house things. So this brother was doing a delivery in his car, and he got shot in the neck out on the job. I don't know how he made it to the hospital.
It's working, but
this happened Tuesday, and Wednesday he's texting the brother closest to him, telling him what happened, letting him know I'm gonna be out soon. I'm sorry I didn't call you because I had them tubes and stuff in my mouth to help me breathe. He let him know he got shot in the neck. Well, so Halak is expecting for him to be out. Halak gets a call the day before. In other words, the brother got shot on Tuesday. He's going back and forth texting. He said, "Man, we were going at it for a minute." Him texting me, texting him back on Wednesday. Thursday, 3 o'clock in the morning. The brother's wife calls Halak and lets him know that she just received a call from the hospital staff that he was in, asking for her.
Can you hear me, Coca?
Yeah, brother, I can hear you.
I see him moving his mouth.
Asking, yes.
Back home.
Asking. Him texting him back. Listen, I'm gonna chime out until they get this shit together, all right?
All right, cool.
I'm gonna get you on Skype. And let him know that she just received a call from the hospital.
Yeah, YouTube's on already.
Asking for her. Yeah, bro, I can hear you.
1 second. I see him moving.
Asking, yes.
Give me 1 second, bro. Stupid. trying to go live twice, bro. Just trying to go live twice. I'm not gonna press the go live button, bro. Maybe we didn't go live. It says Apocalyptic Blitz go live. Hello? I did press it and it went and it loaded up. Everything loaded up. It said personal meeting and it loaded up. I'm gonna press it one more time, bro. It says resume. Resume. So try one more time, bro. No, I just canceled that, bro. I know. It was working before, and then when we went live, you hear Kawakab talking, and then you hear Kawakab talking again 3 seconds later. Yeah. I cut the computer volume down. I didn't cut the YouTube volume down. Yeah. Yeah, it's recording. I get that, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I get you, bro. I just pressed go live, bro. So it went live, and then you had 2 screens, bro. So right now I'm looking for the YouTube. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me do it right now. So I'm looking right now. It says search for your voice. It says YouTube. It says all play is on. Caption settings. Playback speed. Nope. I'm looking for volume. Okay, volume right here. I'm gonna put mute. All right, it's muted. YouTube's muted. So let's see. Coco, can you hear me? Nah, bro. It's already on, bro. Yeah, bro. Zoom is going, bro. Zoom is going. Right here. And Moab was all too. I've been following off and on for the past couple of years. So I know about it. I'm not investing in journalists. I'm not over there to see. Zoom is on, bro. I press Zoom. It's pressed. I press Zoom and then loaded the YouTube up. They're both on. Yeah. That's why I did. I did that. There is no YouTube screen. It's just strictly a Zoom screen. So I'm just not getting. Yeah. I minimize the screen for YouTube. Okay, then I'll do that. Okay, and then let me go back to YouTube and then. Some call them videos. Others, other pronunciation. Okay. Now almost right here. All right.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Okay. I hear Cobb. Shalom. You can hear me, Cobb?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. You can hear it, bro. You just see me on the screen. All right. Well, I see his screen, but my camera angle is on the TV, so we'll see what's up.
But I see it says it's live, so and I don't hear any echo, and it's not looping anymore.
Yeah, it stopped looping, bro. So I'm trying to get Cobb's face to be the main screen. It's like this. It's like the screens are split. Let me see. I'll minimize this right here.
Let you work on that quick. Yeshaya.
All right, we're good.
My glass of water, please.
It's cool for now. Amiyataza.
Shalom, bro. How you doing?
Shalom, sir.
How's life in San Antonio, Texas?
Grind, bro. How you been?
Yeah, hanging in there, bro.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dawi, I was telling Amiyataza's at a place where he can't read, but he can participate. So I need for you to do the reading this evening, okay? All right, everyone. So we done lost the time, Troy, for your question, brother. We'll get it next time. All right, is that good? Well, it was an extension of that question. So what is it, so that we don't lose the essence of it?
Okay. It also, although I'm piggybacking off of what he was talking about on the medical end, it's also tying into my original question as well. So basically, it's a twofold thing. I done already told the missus, like, hey, we ain't doing the vaccine. She was on board with it. Now, a few days ago, at her shop, one of her clients was a nurse. Nurse was basically saying, this vaccine is a good deal, this, that, and the other. And even in the comment the brother made about that y'all were saying about the HIV thing, the nurse made a comment saying that it's better to get HIV than to have diabetes. I'm like, excuse me? So I'm like, okay, well, that's her opinion. And she had basically convinced my wife that this vaccine was a good thing. And I'm like, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. I'm going to have to get more scriptural to make her really understand, because for years, she had already told me she wasn't interested in such things because of the mark of the beast potential and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. So we don't have to go down this road. But because of what this nurse said, there seems to be a bit of a waning there. And I'm like, no, we're going to have to nip this in the bud. But, well, that's where I was going on that.
Okay. Basically, we're going to need clarity. Let me say this, like, the truth of the matter is, what we have in the scriptures lets us know about the mark of the beast, right? Real quick, y'all, let's go there. Let's go to Revelations chapter 13. Now, the best thing to do, this is going to be streamed, so you'll be able to show it to her also, right, Troy?
Con.
Okay, good. Let me get there. Hold on. All right. They've been shooting out here. I just thought I was shooting too close for comfort here. Okay, we're going to Revelation chapter 13. And we're going to start off at verse 16, Dawiyad. Read verse 16.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So that be the question. Now the brothers, are you screaming, man?
It's streaming live.
Okay. The brothers in certain congregations, right? Particularly ISUPK, go through great efforts to convince the brothers and sisters that it is not the microchip. And more recently, they've gone through extensive measures, especially this past Monday in their broadcast, the stream, that neither is it the COVID vaccine. And so, biblically speaking, none of us have the power to say what it isn't or what it is. All we can do is go by the description that accompany it. So when we read this verse 17, it tells us that the demand, the ultimatum would be to receive this mark, whatever it turns out to be. Now, let me say this. So back in the day, and it still holds true, the mark of the beast initially, what is the mark of the beast in its seed, in its conception, right? Let's say when it's first brought out, in its first presentation, it is intellectual. When I say intellectual, meaning it's the knowledge. It's Esau's intellectual positioning, religion, politics, all of those things, right? Are accepting Esau's ideology that's contrary to the truth. Now, I'm going to show you all this also. Accepting Esau's knowledge that's contrary to the truth of the Bible, and then that's the mark in your forehead. But then it comes back and it says, and in your right hand, because your right hand is always associated with the oath that you take in the allegiance that you swear to this kingdom. If you have military, they have to take an oath. The people that work in politics have to take an oath. Judicials, they have to take an oath. The executive branch, executive branch officials, they all have to take oaths. So initially, that's what it is. But just like everything else in the Bible, the Most High teaches this very same beast. This we're reading about this beast, right? Of the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns. And when it first began to conceptualize, it didn't take on its final form that's described in the Bible. And I'm gonna give you all some examples. So when we read in Daniel chapter 7, I'm gonna use Daniel because we already went over these verses. When you read Daniel chapter 7, it says, behold, I saw the third beast was like a leopard, right? And it had the 4 wings on the back of it, like a fowl, and it had 4 heads. Now, we know that ended up being the Greek Empire, spearheaded or introduced by Alexander, right, of Macedonia, known as Alexander the Great historically. But this configuration of the 4 wings and 4 heads didn't start off like that. It had to evolve into that. And how did that evolution, that dynamic, that geopolitical dynamic go? Alexander conquered the known world with a whole gang of generals. Whole gang meaning like 10, 15 generals. He didn't conquer the world with 4 generals. The hell is wrong with people? But the most 10, 15 generals. He didn't conquer the world with 4 generals. The hell is wrong with people? But the Most High is giving us these marks, these key characteristics in the final configuration. And so on the way to the four winds, we found out that the four winds was what? Was the four realms that the Greek Empire was divided into upon Alexander's death. We found out that the four heads were the four generals that presided over each of those four realms. But they didn't start off like that. It started off with the kingdom was divided into 5 major parts. It was Antigonus was there. Then we had to go from what year did he die? We're talking 331. Basically, he died 12 years into his campaign. So however long that was, now when it says 12 years into his campaign, we might think 12 years from 331, but his campaign didn't start at 331. 331 just marks the end of the 3 decisive battles between him and Darius of the Persians. So whatever year that was, it still had a long way to go. And the kingdom wouldn't be divided into 4 realms until after 301 BC, with an event that was the Battle of Ipsus, a place I believe in Turkey, close to it. I got to go and remember. I got to go to see where Ipsus was. But this was a process in which what the generals, the 5 major generals of Alexander's, the dead Alexander's divided kingdom, they started fighting among themselves. And it wasn't all 5 of them. It was 3 of them ganged up against one of them. Totally stayed out of it. He had his hands full in Egypt. He had all that a person could dream for. But Seleucus, Cassander, and Lysimachus, they joined forces and went against Antigonus and divided up what? Conquered him in 301 at that battle of Ipsus, IPSUS, or IPSES, Ipsus, I believe it's IPSUS. And divided his kingdom among the 3 of them. Cassander received a portion of Antigonus' territory. Lysimachus received a portion of Antigonus' territory, and the major portion went to Seleucus. Now, all of that is what had to happen for the verse that we see in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 6 for us to be able to recognize. Now, why do I use that? Well, this is telling us also about the mark of the beast. That means it had to start off with a concept. It has to start off at the place that we recognize it for what it is. But then it's going to grow into the system. It's eventually going to grow into the system where there's going to be something that you're going to have that without it you will not be able to buy and sell. And that ain't the damn knowledge, because the whole world is engulfed in Esau's knowledge. That's why the Most High called it what? Most High called it Lucifer. And then for those that rebuttal him, the Chinese ain't following his doctrine. The Chinese have been financed by Esau to be a nemesis to the Western world. What am I trying to show you? That we still don't know. Brothers are acting like we're supposed to, like the Bible prophesies, and it gives us what to look for. We don't have to guess what it is and declare what it isn't. All we have to do is wait and see. Does this vaccine meet the description of the ultimatum that the Bible says will be given? That without it, you will not be able to buy and sell. And so far, not based on what we see, but what Esau is announcing, that's what it looked like it's going to be. And so Yohanan, in his broadcast on Monday, he even said that. I would say these brothers, I would actually say this on live air, man. They're like, they contradicted themselves so many times. God told these brothers, Yohanan and these 3 brothers are telling people, the argument was that, yeah, you're going to become one of the many arguments. That you're going to come up into the school, man, and kill off the brothers because you didn't get the vaccine. And then saying, turn around saying, and you trust in the Most High to take the vaccine, and trust in the Most High, let him work it out. How about you not take the vaccine and trust in the Most High? Idiot! What's wrong with people, man? So I was saying, contradicting himself. So he's telling brothers, yeah, you're not going to get that vaccine. You're going to come up into the school and kill brothers. And then, in other words, then they offer the argument, yeah, people that don't get, you don't get that vaccine, you ain't going to be able to get your re-up on your EBT cards. You ain't going to be able to renew your driver's license. You ain't going to be able to re-up on your insurance. That's proof that that's the damn mark. They're offering up these, threatening people with, if you don't get it, this is what's going to happen. Nigga, that is the very description that the Bible is giving. You're going to get get a lot. Let me say this, brother. You can call me. Everybody know I'm Facebook and stuff. What my name is on Facebook. I think you can make Facebook calls. You run around here and get people killed, and the Most High gonna destroy everybody that's exalting themselves as a damn high priest, as a damn commanding general, as the damn only place where if it's not someplace else, it's not the truth. You ain't the truth, and Jerusalem is the home of the truth. Not no fucking address on 125th Street. Stupid ass people. The Most High gonna burn everything in America up. What happens to the home of the truth? Damn idiot. It's like, brother, I recorded that shit. I recorded that. I downloaded it, and then I recorded the respective. It picks up at 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 15 seconds. So I could just watch it. Now I'm gonna go back tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow because I got class all day tomorrow. So I better chill out on my voice. And I'm gonna go point for point and show how you made all of these fucking contradictions. Then I'm gonna come back and probably, you know me, I don't like doing YouTube stuff, but I'll do that one to save the nation. The Most High is mad. He gonna bring everybody like you that's exalting yourself. Every time you turn, and this don't sound like deja vu to you. For those of us who do come out of ISUPK, like myself, you couldn't say 2 words without making sure you named Marshall, Ariyah, and all the 7. We ain't gotta name them. We supposed to name Yahweh Shah. They're just vessels, like the Bible says, through whom Christ was introduced to you. And that's all you are. You're just a vessel through whom the Most High introduced himself and Christ to. Nothing more. And the scriptures tell. Give me that. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I want to start off where the scriptures tell you that he that planteth and he that worketh are that water. Running around here thinking that you're something. You ain't no but a ghetto nigga. You ain't no damn commanding general. From the looks of it, you don't even command your damn diet. Run around here calling somebody commanding general. Michael is the commanding general of all the armies of the Most High under Christ. What the hell is wrong with people? People are sick. And the scriptures say, knowledge puffeth up. But Paul checked us off. Paul said, what hast thou that thou did not acquire, that thou did not gather? Who was born with this? None of us was born with this. Talking about if it's not of ISUPK, if it's not of the Lord. And from the shit that you announced this past Monday, if it is of USCPK, it's not of the Lord. That's what it more like sound like. Start off in verse 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 5. Let's take all of us and put us all in our place. Let us take the Most High's eyes and view ourselves, or how we should view ourselves in the eyes of the Most High and in the eyes of each other. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 3 and 5. Who then is Paul? And who is Apollos?
Hold on. So let's just put our names in there. Who is Kawakab? Who is General Commanding General Yahana? Who is Mayaka Ali? Who is a Warner Ayah? Who is anybody on this earth? Go ahead.
But ministers by whom ye believed.
In other words, ministers is a term that means servants. Servants by whom ye believe. That means the Most High used us as instruments to introduce himself and Christ to them. And then our job, our single objective is to draw men, to direct men to Christ, to him, not to us. And the minute somebody starts getting to us, we're supposed to throw that notion down. We're supposed to destroy that notion. Because the only reason I see it is because the Most High opened my eyes to see it. I don't see it in and of anything within me. Keep on going, brother.
Even as the Lord gave to carry every man.
And the Most High appointed every man to the work that he would do. Every man to the stewardship that he would be committed to. And we don't know who the Most High going to direct to us, but I know whoever he does, direct to us, we have to do the right thing with it. You running around here treading on Christ's feet. Every time you turn around and so and so and so and so that the commanding general, that ain't your book. Ain't even no book in the Bible called none of us. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6, I have planted, Apollos watered.
So let me say this. Nobody at the ICUPK planted anything in me. Nobody at ISUPK. I have foster parents who had material laying around about the people in America being the slaves, being the Israelites. That's what I had. And so I went, and by 1988, 87, I'm buying books. That one book called, I got it on my shelf now. Let me get it. Hold up. This is a book. Let's show that title. Called The Truth About Black Biblical Hebrew Israelite, and in parentheses, it says Jews. Then it says the world's best kept secret. I saw this book at a bookstore in Los Angeles on Slauson and Crenshaw, right next door to the Woody's barbecue shop. I used to go there all the time to get some barbecue and then go to the bookstore. And the reason this book caught my attention is because I grew up hearing my foster father argue with his biological son about and asking him how could he be being a preacher, because he was the assistant pastor at his uncle's church. And they would bring their grandkids over every Sunday for years. This was the last home I was in. And they'd get into an argument every Sunday for years about how we were the Jews. That's who planted the seed. Then I went and I recognized this title. I recognized my foster father arguing to his son. And I said, well, let me buy that book. And it was only $8, so I bought it. And all it is a breakdown of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and a little bit more. And I was like, shit, he was right. And then I started looking and started participating in these Black-oriented groups, right? One of them was this nigga, Jesse Lee Peterson. I rode with Jesse Lee Peterson's organization for a while, for like about 9 months. He's called Bond. He's that like super Uncle Tom nigga that be trying to hypnotize people into believing that we ain't oppressed. I don't know if y'all know about Jesse Lee Peterson. The point is, then Ariella popped up out of nowhere. The point is, then Ariella popped up out of nowhere, passing out literature in Inglewood, the place where I used to work out at, where the gym was at. And the brother that I was really close to, he's over a camp out there in California still, called True Nation. This brother ran into Ariella and left Ariella left him with some flyers that had the emblem of the Shield of David. So I come into the gym one day and I see this flyers, and I go pick up the flyer. No, this is how the Most High be working. It ain't no one man that's who you can say. First of all, it's no man who can claim responsibility for anybody coming into the truth. That's what we're reading here. So Paul said, I have planted. The Most High used certain elements in Israel or in the world to plant ideas, whether it be a concrete episode or a session of being taught or just a vague notion or idea. He always, that's the seed. Your seed could have been the first time you actually watched a whole lesson, or it could have been a conversation that you overheard. In my instance, it was a series of conversations that for years I continued to overhear. And I kept trying to figure out what was Jews, that phrase, Jews. You know, I know, that was a damn 8, 9-year-old child. I didn't know what that was. Read that again from the top of that verse, W.
Verse 6. Verse 5. Who then is Paul? And who is Apollos? 1 Corinthians 3 and 5. But ministers by whom ye believed, even as the Lord gave to every man.
Go ahead.
I have planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase.
Go ahead.
So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth.
So all that means is what? Whoever introduces the idea, whoever teaches in cultivation, we're nothing. Neither is he that planteth anything, neither is he that watereth. Brothers is getting all proud and shit. Most I don't care about how many decades you got in this truth. When you go off, you go off. When you don't put yourself in check, you go off. And all of us are subject. Christ is the authority. A child could come up, a 12-year-old child could come up and cut your ass in the scriptures if he's got the ability and you're wrong. So we're dealing with this issue of the vaccine and the mark of the beast. So how will we know whatever it is, whether it's the microchip or not? We'll know because, like the scripture said, it becomes what? It becomes the ultimatum that's offered. Now let's go back to Revelation and read that. I'm not here clowning people because other people have reliable sources of information that your ass is still listening to Fox News. The whole damn world knows Fox News is compromised. The whole damn world knows most of American media, including Hollywood, is bought off by the Chinese. Gonna send people to their death. And the scriptures tell you, Christ said, woe unto you Pharisees, you scribes. I ain't calling you a Pharisee or scribe, but what he does say is that you go across land and sea to make a proselyte. And when he is made, he's twofold times the child of hell than yourself. You're around and getting people hooked on you. Every time you turn around, that sounds like the damn Elijah Muhammad. You can't say shit without somebody saying, you ask a Muslim a question, and he goes, I better bring this to that. He goes through his whole mantra. That's what the elders used to have us doing, and it wasn't about them. Now everybody's trying to stand up in their place. That's why I left the fucking country. So the Most High can lead me to some new ground that ain't contaminated with a bunch of egocentric, lying-ass Israelites allowing themselves to be worshipped. That shit is wrong. And you're going to get a lot of people killed, and then you have to answer the Yahushua for their blood. Now let's read about this mark of the beast. Continue. Call the verse out.
Revelation 13.
Yes.
And they worship the dragon.
No. It was 13 and 16.
13 is verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right. Go. Now let me say this. That breakdown that we learned at the school is real because it starts off. Let me say this. How are you going to, let's say the microchip is it, or the vaccine is the mark. Just playing with that idea. Before you even get the mark, you have to be involved in the system that rely upon what their doctors are telling you. You have to be so into the system that your mind is integrated to the degree that you trust that system. And so that's how you know the initial idea, the mark is that knowledge. It's Esau's knowledge, man. It's his ideology. And many people enter into that mark by way of, you know how many military people don't believe in Christ until they get on the battlefield. Like they say in foxholes, there are no atheists, but they live their life. And then how many declared Christians that don't even know the Bible? No matter what nationality, Edomite or Israelite. That's most of the people in the world. That's most Christianity. Y'all know that. Most Christians don't know the Bible. Those that know and know how to maneuver through it, like the Jehovah's Witness and Second-day Adventists, they don't know the message. That hidden message that's in there. So here we are reading this, and he's telling us what to look for. So the first aspect of the mark is you are into that American way. That's that forehead. You're into the education institution. You're into the religion. You're into as many philosophical aspects, pop culture, that mark, that beast have to offer. But then that hand, once again, it initially is talking about what? Your efforts that contribute to the upholding, your work that contribute to the upholding of this beast system. That's real. But that ain't the end of it all. You understand? And they'll offer up the argument that people that don't go lock into that don't lock into the beast, that system, that religion, right? They get cut off from commerce. So he'll, and this is true. They'll use Cuba, for example. They'll use Venezuela, communism, and all that versus capitalism. But brother, this says everybody, rich and small, poor and free and bond, great. Talking about everybody. Then he gives you the ultimate thing. It says that what? That read verse 16 or read verse 17.
Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So the argument that these brothers offered up was that you ain't gonna be able to get them EBT cards. That's it. That you run on and telling people to do something that, and then warning them. I ain't gonna say you were threatening them because you weren't. You were making them conscious of the fact that what y'all going. Y'all went as far as to say everybody that's on EBT cards gonna get it. But what's that to say? If you don't get it, then you won't what? Your EBT card won't get read up. That right there is describing the dynamic. That right there is showing you that. So what we got to do is just, once we get through, I'm gonna get back on track. But we're gonna have to go and do this whole, because these are the days that we're living in. And Israel is throwing out all type of confusion. Instead of being humble and saying, well, you know what? No one can really say for sure right now at this point, but we're watching scripturally how it develops. If it turns out that this vaccine comes under the condition or is presented with the same ultimatum that we just read, then obviously that's it. That's how we know. The Most High provided all the information we need. We ain't got to be acting like we Mr. Know-it-all, fucking gurus and shit. We're nothing. We're stupid without the knowledge. That's what we really are. A bunch of stupid, backward-ass Israelite Negroes and West Indians and Puerto Ricans. And then the brother said to give him the information. Well, why don't you go and look, search the scripture? Christ said, be vigilant. Nigga, look for it. Carrie Madej. Somebody give me some of them names. Amayatazar from the lady. I'm trying to think of the one that used to work with Dr. Fauci.
First. The lady. Is that Joyce, right? Dr. Fauci lady that he was with her? Oh yeah.
Markovich or Milkovich, some Russian type of name. Say it again.
Judy Mitzvah.
Look for the name, man. Look for, y'all got all them damn phones. Look for the name. Because that's what we're supposed to do. The brother asked for the information. Let's give him the information. Because I don't want to lose your Muhammad or anybody else. But when you come out and say what something ain't, then you come back and then describe to the people the very dynamic that the Bible describes.
Yeah, it's Judy Mikovits.
And what's the name of that documentary that she was in?
Mikovits.
What's the name of the documentary? It's the Plandemic.
It's called Plandemic.
Look for a video, a documentary. I guess it's a short documentary called Plandemic. This is a doctor, a virologist, an epidemiologist, one of those that worked with Dr. Fauci, who did prison time because of the information that she came forth with, that Dr. Fauci took the information and weaponized HIV. That's, and then she's breaking down the whole thing. Carrie Madej is a virologist that deals with viruses and vaccines out of Florida. Y'all find that name, y'all. It's Carrie, and her last name is Madej, something like that.
You have to find it on the internet because they took it off the YouTube.
Yeah, of course. They're doing it. They're censoring everything.
You find it online, but you can't find it on YouTube.
Can you spell it again? You said
Carrie. That's her first name, Carrie, and her last name is Madej. Madej, something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just saying. So if this video makes its way to the brother, he can go look up their the information, their videos. Another doctor, I keep getting his name wrong. Dr. Batar, something like that.
Yeah, Carrie Madej, I guess Madej.
Yeah, that's what I said.
EJ, yeah.
Look her up if you get a hold of this video, man, or this stream. And these are people that's been doing this all their life. I'm not gonna listen to no fucking CNN that's been lying, that's known to be lying. Now, and that, listen, you know, at the time when you need to come up with some information, it ain't there because I would have to go to my source, and I'll be watching Alex Jones, not because of damn Alex Jones, but because of all of the experts that he bring on. And I'm talking about people like General Wesley Clark. I'm talking about people, you know what I'm saying? There's a guy, his name is Francis Boyle. That's another one. I thank you. Francis Boyle. He's a scientist and a doctor that deals with virology and epidemiology, and he's the person who single-handedly wrote the law that the UN uses against bioweapons. He wrote it, and he's telling you this shit is gonna kill millions of people because that's what it's designed to do. And this nigga's listening to somebody that's reading some orders off of a damn paper. These journalists ain't even, they're not muckraking journalists. When I say muckraking, you know the old term muckraker? The people that go through and sift through all they go through and hazard their lives to get the real scoop. It's just pretty and handsome news pundits that regurgitate and read scripts of what they're told, man. You expect more out of somebody with all your years. Talking about bring me the information. Why don't you go look for it? Do you love your people like you say you do? Are they worth it? Are they worth the investigative effort or not? Well, you're gonna wait for them to bring it to you. Your ass is the shepherd. You're supposed to be looking for the wolves. Read that one last time. Revelation.
Francis Boyle, B-O-Y-L-E. B-O-Y-L-E, Francis Boyle.
What's his name? I mean, what's his position? Do they have his position and stuff? What his title is?
Francis A. Boyle, he's a leading American professor, practitioner, and advocate of international law. He was responsible for the drafting of biological weapons. He has a book called Biowarfare and Terrorism. Biowarfare and Terrorism. He has a book about that subject.
But continue to read. You say he was responsible for doing what?
I'm going right here. Go back. It says a leading American professor, practitioner, and advocate of international law. He was responsible for drafting the biological weapons. And it says anti. I gotta go into the actual
article.
Yeah, domestic implementing of policy.
Well, open it up and read it, man. Shit, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Let's go into the full description of his book. This is right here, revealing a discovery related to the chemical and biological research project, which could lead to a public outcry at latest escalation in the Bush administration's violation of the Biological Weapons Convention. He then provides a political, legal, and scientific environment in which the first biowarfare terrorist attack against the U.S. government, the anthrax attack in Congress 2001. So he's been in for a minute.
Now the point is, this person is an authority. He didn't. Now, how did I find out about him? Because he appeared on the Alex Jones show, and I've been following him ever since. Carrie Madej appeared on the Alex Jones show. I've been following her ever since. Milkovich, whatever that lady name is, a hard name for me to remember. She appeared on the Alex Jones show, so I started following her. Because that's what you do when you love to fuck. You acquire. I'm not looking for information that confirms my beliefs. I'm looking for as much information so that I can become knowledgeable on the subject. So I listen to the pros and the cons never make damn sense. or I should say the pros, those that are in favor of the vaccine, those sources of information constantly contradict themselves. So that said, contradict themselves. So that said, last time we done with it.
All right, verse 17. That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
So you're telling me, from what you said on your own show, that many people won't be able to get them EBT unless they get the vaccine. Sounds descriptive of what we just read. That many people won't be able to renew their car license, their driver's license, their car registration, their insurance, unless they get that. Many people won't be able to travel. You even talked about how you're going to get shot because you got to get out and go to the beach. 2021, you said you're going to do it all. But you justified being able to do it all by taking that vaccine. That sounds to me like the damn mark. I still ain't willing to say that it is until they start enforcing it. But because the circumstances and the criteria surrounding it so much resembles an ultimatum, I'm not going to take it just because it's starting to look like it. And I have watched videos. The doctors that we just got through naming, each one of them show you that they come, the people that are promoting it themselves show you that the syringe with which and through which the vaccine will be issued has a slot where they do implant a microchip. And it's going to have records so that you can be able to determine, you're going to have the record of having taken the microchip in your body. Oh, that is real. And let me say this. The Bible is full of conspiracies. What is wrong with you? Psalms, what is that? The 83, 82 talks about the nations conspiring. It doesn't say conspire. It says they are confederate against them. But that to do evil, that's a damn conspiracy. Did you know that biblically speaking, the first conspirators, biblically speaking, the very first conspirators were the Israelite patriarchs. Did y'all know that? If you do, it's because I taught it a couple of weeks ago. It says that the brothers, Jacob's sons, saw Joseph coming and they conspired against him, saying, "Come, let us kill him and see what will happen to this dream." You know what around here, because the whole fucking world operates on conspiracy just because they don't use that word. The fuck is, then you come and turn around and tell everybody, really give the history, the Tuskegee and all the things. Even gave a history about how he grew up in a project that was peaceful, and then they did something to spread him, and it affected the people of his project to such degree that all of a sudden people was killing and shooting each other. Then he comes back and says, "But take the virus or take the vaccine." What kind of shit is that? Not but take the vaccine because it is. He didn't cover it with anything else. He didn't come back and say, because in recent times we found out that, and then from these studies and from this information, he just said because fucking take it. Then he says because you ain't gonna maybe re-up your EBT. That sounds like the mark to me. Yeah, I didn't plan on going through this tonight, but brother's talking about the mark. And this is dangerous, brother. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous thing to be in a position to be shepherding the Most High's flock. You went around with callously thrown around. This like shit was rebounding off his head. He didn't make no sense to himself, I don't believe. You should go back and watch that episode and see how many times you contradicted yourself. He said, "I'm going to go out and take that because I'm going to be getting in my Jeep." Talked about all of the generals that's opening up all of these ISUPK locations. Then he came back and said, "Yeah, I'm going to get out there in the midst of COVID. If I happen to die during COVID, then that means, he made it an honorable thing to die in the midst of doing the work in COVID." Well, nigga, then, but so, in other words, in one minute you're willing, you're telling people over and over repeatedly to take this vaccine, and then in another breath you're willing to face the perils of going into a COVID world. Which one is it? Go and make yourself vulnerable to COVID? Then he kept talking about take the shot and trust the Most High? How about not take the fucking shot and trust the Most High? How about that one? How about that option? Take the shot and the Most High got you. How about don't take the shot and the Most High got you? And those are the signs of a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is fleeing. And the scriptures tell you that. The scriptures say the Spirit of wisdom, the Holy Spirit of wisdom will flee. Where what? A body that is a malicious spirit and a body that is subject to sin. You better get yourself in check. Because you didn't make no sense from 1:17 and 15 seconds into that damn episode this past Friday or Monday. You didn't make no sense. And the whole world saw it, and all the comments, I didn't see one. But I ain't see one comment in favor of that. So the whole fucking world is crazy. And I'm talking about people that were awake, God. Everybody saw that for what it was. You ain't got no faith in the Most High. You got faith in the white man. That's how you know it. You got faith in Esau. All right, let me get myself together because my voice ain't gonna be nothing for tomorrow. I got a whole 7 hours to do tomorrow. What you got? What you got, Ahmad?
He has a video. Mole has a video that says, Mel Gates says blacks and Native Americans get first vaccinations. And the site is Community Leo Watch. Community, Leo capitalized, watch. So basically, Bill Gates and his wife, dude wife, blacks, Native Americans get the vaccine first. What a coincidence, right?
Yeah, man. But he's telling people to trust that. This nigga ain't did no research on Bill Gates. He's always, see, how the guy be slamming abortion. Well, you don't know Bill Gates' father was the fucking president of Planned Parenthood. The first damn president of it.
And the way they're pushing it.
Bill Gates' mother was the one who was with IBM during the time when they was creating technology to mark all the damn so-called fake-ass Jews in during the Nazi Germany, huh? This nigga come from eugenics. He come from his roots are genocidal. And when did this nigga came, he ain't even got a damn vaccine to prevent the viruses from Windows. All the years he was the damn CEO of Microsoft, this nigga couldn't stop a virus in a fucking computer. You gonna tell me he gonna stop it in something as complex as the human body?
Exactly. Yes.
No, my head is screwed on right. My head is screwed on right. I trust the Most High. Shit, I can't tell you how many times the Most High brought me back from death, literally, and not parabolic. I'm talking about living. I'm talking about my body shut down in the Bronx when I was back there in New York. I got poisoned. Out here, diarrhea, you know they called you so I could get a liver remedy because I was on my deathbed, telling my goodbyes to my family.
God.
And the Most High did it all. And the scriptures tell you the Lord made medicine of the earth. They made mockery about brothers said, you gotta eat this, and you gotta eat this. You can take your ass to that damn Arab deli in New York, corners through for. The scriptures tell you that the Lord made all medicines from the earth, and he that is wise will not despise them. They're talking about all them brothers, not all them brothers. Just the stupid niggas that Esau put out there that said do these things. Some of them ended up in the hospital and died. But my ass, we had it out here, and it was severe. But we got through it through herbs and food, the right type of food. Simple and plain. We went liquid. We were doing liquid vegetable smoothies and liquid fruit smoothies, and that's what got everybody through. And then we went through a second wave, and it was just a couple of years. You just lost your taste buds and your smell. You hear that shit that you talking about, you know, damn vaccine? The Most High is going to get you for leading his people to the slot, you fucking Judas goat. That's what they use at the slaughterhouse. They use the goats to go there and befriend the people. I doubt if you even take the damn vaccine. Talking about, I'll take it. Nigga, take it to your own peril. Talking about, trust the Most High. Take the vaccine. Nigga, that's what kind of contradiction is that? The Most High already said, you are forgers of lies. You are physicians of no value. Doctors don't know shit. One of the most biggest killers of humankind is modern medicine. Everybody knows that. Why did they turn around years ago in 1984 and pass a law that, how do you say that? It's like an indemnity law, where it made the entire pharmaceutical industry exempt from any type of legal repercussions from damage from any of their products, particularly vaccines. Why did they do that? Because that's how Esau be operating. He be laying the tracks down for shit decades in advance, knowing what he was planning. I can't believe this dude is watching CNN. These niggas is citing MSNBC and Fox News. This shit right there, I'm surprised you still read the Bible. Because Fox News ain't even compatible with the Bible. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? These New York crazy ass niggas thinking that they're the only one. You say how it is. If it ain't an ISUPK, but the Most High is getting ready to show the world that if it is ISUPK, it is not of the Lord. You don't see that with your own eyes. Before the Most High bring you up for pastor, because the scriptures say, give me that, somebody find that verse that says, so whosoever shall exalt himself. What happens?
Shall be abased.
You don't repent, the Most High gonna base your ass in front of everybody.
Luke 14:11 and
23 and 12.
Luke 14:11. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
And that's the reality of it. And Christ already saw, the apostles already went through this for us. They was already discussing among themselves who would be the greatest among them. And Christ in Matthew 18, go there, go to Matthew chapter 18 and start with verse 1. We're going to get to Joseph next week.
Matthew 18 and verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
Right. They weren't even listening. They weren't even talking about on this side, like niggas in this world. At least their mind was in the right place. They wasn't asking who was the greatest here under the subjection of the Romans. Christ would have told all their stupid asses the Romans are. That's why he's being militarily occupied. That wasn't their question. Their question was the future anyway. Their question was in the kingdom, who's going to be great and the greatest. And Christ kept them humble on this side. Go ahead.
And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
And that don't sound like no high priest or no commander or nobody of authority. And that, listen, when you finish this and somebody have the other one lined up where it says, the Gentiles that exercise authority among one another. You stay where you are, though. I got you reading. But I want you guys, but he says, for ye it shall not be so. I want you to find out when after we read this one. Dawiyah might be one to get it also. Go ahead, Dawiyah.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
There you go, man. Simple and plain, and that means what? What is the greatest characteristic of children? But number one, their meekness, meaning they don't hold or harbor resentment. And that's not the aspect that I'm bringing up. I'm bringing in the child aspect by what? By them being a sponge and always being able to learn. That's what I'm making a point to do. Making a point to make sure, I'm boisterous and loud. Right, with this congregation and a couple of some of them I ain't like this because this is a different zone, different spirit, and I'll be offended people. But this one is where we come from. We come from the mudslinging streets of New York, so we can talk like this because that's how the brothers roll, man. But he said, and now you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. So our objective is to study children. Study them when they argue. Study them when there's a disagreement. Study how long it takes after the agreement, an adult steps in and resolves it, how long it takes before they're playing again in the sandbox. You understand? Study a child, put them around grown-ups. Be conscious that there's children around, and then find out, you're going to have to really study them to find out how if sometimes it takes weeks or months, and then before you know, they're regurgitating what you said. They're using your expressions. They're telling your jokes because they learn, they're sponges. This is what he's telling us. And then the main quality of a child, if a child is receiving love, what does a child really try to do? But win the approval of their parents through obedience. That's what children, those are the characteristics of children, man. Their meekness, their ability to learn, and their desire to what? To please the person who cares for them. And Christ is the one who cares for us. Men taking all of this, you drink this water, all this other stuff. I'm gonna have to suck on a damn stick of butter or something to smooth this throat out for tomorrow.
Stick of butter.
Yeah, with some sugar sprinkled over. Now you know I'm joking out. But that's that stick of butter. That's why I said with some sugar sprinkled over it. I'm gonna see how far you gonna go. Brother gonna come back with his hands and face look like a glazed donut with sprinkles on the top. Oh, cow. It ain't working yet. No, but I was just saying that just like to smooth out my throat. But read that, Dawiyah.
Verse 4, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
So that's what we got to do. That's showing us we have to study these children, and we have to study them in as many circumstances, right? As many venues as possible, so we can really capture what it is to be childlike and not childish. And there's a difference. Now, who found the other one that I mentioned?
Luke chapter 22, verse 25.
Go ahead and get there and read it. Luke, Dawiyah, get there. Luke what?
Luke 22, verse 25.
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors.
Right, go ahead.
But ye shall not be so.
That means we ain't supposed to be rolling. And I don't give a shit what you say. I know what the Most High did. Coconut, thank you. See, now this does work. Coconut oil. Yeah, it is soothing. Read that again.
Verse 26 or verse 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them.
So that lordship is talking about authority, y'all. It's talking about authority. Just because it doesn't say high priest, which Christ is, just because it doesn't say commanding, which Christ and Michael are, doesn't mean that's not talking about that. It's talking about anything in which, and let me say this, and I grew up under that zone too, right? Where you had your rank and stuff, and that's how the Most High had Moses. Moses' father-in-law counseled him on how to do this system so that Moses wouldn't burn himself out. And so, of course, it's legitimate. But that stuff is working. That's good. But Christ came back and laid that all out. And you read the whole book of Hebrews, Christ himself told the apostles. He gave a parable about how basically the Most High was going to take this shepherdhood, this stewardship from the Levitical priesthood, he said, and give it to a nation bearing fruits. He wasn't talking about another nation. He was talking about it was going to go from a Levitical priesthood to Israelite being a kingdom of priests, the nation of Israel. And so Christ was the one who the Most High used to initiate that new system. And that's why he chose all men, nobody from the tribe of Levi. That's why. And he never said, now, this is what's going to happen. From what we know, biblically speaking, Peter, James, and John were the top authorities among the 12. And then when it came down to it, the final decision would rest upon the shoulders of Peter. But none of them called themselves commanding generals and high priests. Yeah, you got the bishops. That's in the scriptures too. But the bishops wasn't there to be all revered outside of what Christ is or outside the realm of a man. They were recognized for their what? For their responsibility. For there is, that's why Paul said, but though I teach the gospel, I have nothing to glory over. Yea, woe be unto me if I teach not the gospel. I'll get my ass whooped. The Most High will smash me if I don't do this. When it says I have nothing to glory of, I don't have nothing to become boastful about just because the Most High using me to teach the gospel. It's his spirit working through me when I continue to make myself the proper vessel. This thing ain't about authority, y'all. This is about service. This is about servitude. This is about sacrifice. This is about suffering. This is about humility. That's what this is. It's about responsibility. Listen, the only thing we are stewards. And a steward is someone that's been put in charge to caretake of over something that belongs to someone else. That's why I like that movie, The Lord of the Rings. That last one, where Gandalf goes to the guy, the steward of that white city with the white tree, and he goes, Gandalf, and he goes, whatever the name of the city, it's mine. And he says, the king has come back, steward. He said it as though it was something to be disdained. And it's not. But he said it as to put this man that was acting like a king in his place. He said, the king has returned, steward, like you old meager ass servant. And that's how we're supposed to operate, y'all. We're supposed to operate like what we are, servants, man. We're not authorities over one another. Now, read on down. Whoever you was reading that, pick up where you left off.
And they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so.
We're not supposed to be authoritative. We're not supposed to allow the sheep to have to turn around and always make mention of our names. Mention the school and then Kawakab and these brothers. Kawakab ain't brought nobody. I'm still damn struggling with myself as if this display don't show that. So it go for Johanna, it go for Nathaniel, it go for Tahar, it goes for everybody from the old school. Everybody. Everybody. Nobody's greater than Yahweh. Should I go on and challenge me on that one? Go on and sign your death certificate on that one. Go on and refute what we're reading out the Bible and hang yourself. Go ahead. Because you know I'm not lying. You know the Bible, we're reading it. We're not supposed to be like that. And the scriptures say, he that rebuketh afterward shall find favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. So hopefully I'll find favor and you'll see me for the love that I have towards you. Because I ain't one of them niggas that's going to be doing all that, the honorable this and the commanding that. You ain't commanding nothing. You don't command anything. You don't even command your own spirit. Most I put a hiccup in your heart and you clutch that damn thing and hope like hell somebody around you know what to do. We don't command anything. We can barely harness and command our own spirit. We don't even marshal or master that. We can't even command or marshal our own language, our own selection of words. Because damn well it feels better to say damn sometimes than, man, come on. You don't master that. But we could master it, but what is it that don't allow us to master it for the flock's sake? It'd be us. We'd be into how it feels better to say that, oh, I'll just speak on me. Sometimes it feels better to say, shut the fuck up, than, hey, brother, Shema. And so what is it that makes that word feel better? It's the negative. It's the flesh. It's the carnal in me still. And then when I do that, what do? I actually give the carnal in that person a way out to say what? It wasn't what you said, Cobb. It was the way that you said it, or you cursed. Then we start acting like we didn't grow up hearing this shit all day, all night. We start acting like there was a time when we didn't even know what our name was because all we heard was MF. We start playing them carnal games and get weak. So in order to really care about the person, we really are supposed to eliminate all of those avenues through which a person could take what you're doing and cleave to their flesh. We're supposed to eliminate that. But why am I going through this to show you? None of us really marshal or master ourselves. And that's why we got to have the Bible. That's why we got to go by that. So how about if I can't command my own self, if I don't have command over my own discipline, if I'm not walking in the highest form of priestliness in my own behavior, how am I supposed to even imagine let somebody lure me into some kind of drug-induced P-funk imagination that I'm a high priest. Most of us is fucking low priests. That's the reality. We're priests from the ghetto, gutter priests, gutter prophets, because we really be thinking that that's coming across, and it is coming across, but it's coming across to the flesh and the other people. We don't even be really helping them out. That's the truth be told. So who are we to be operating like we're some authorities? Who do we think we are to operate as though this is First Cobb chapter 3? I ain't wrote nothing in this. I still can't spell right. Nigga 56 years old and still can't spell right. I'm confused with all them languages. Be messing with you. But that ain't no excuse. You nigga, you can't spell. just say it. Right? You don't read enough to be spelling, to remember the words. Shoot. Guarantee you see 10 signatures. I write my signatures 10 different ways. That's how it is. You're wondering if I got Alzheimer's. Anyway, continue, Dawiyah, read.
It says, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve.
Check that out, huh? Now, when are we going to start following that? Read that again. Let he that is what?
It says, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief.
Now, hold on. Why does he say that? Because the younger is associated with following. Like I got a 23-year-old son, I got a 19-year-old son, I got a 10-year-old son here, right? So imagine LT, who was 23, going into the role where he's following Yeshaya, that's 10. But because of out here, LT just got here, right? 3 years ago. Well, Rylop is born and raised here. So when LT, and he's still like that. LT, if a Rylop visited New Jersey where LT grew up at, then LT would really be able to take on the what? The older brother role. The older, and Rylop would definitely have to be the younger. But because LT came out here, Rylop is 4.5 years, 3.5 years, or 4.5 years, 3.5 years younger, or LT 3.5 years older, Rylop be having the lead. And LT be humble and having to follow. That's how it is, man. But that's what Christ is telling us. So imagine LT coming out here thinking that New Jersey shit gonna work. He gonna, or Rylop going out there trying to roll. This is how we do it in the G. Well, how do they be talking about in the 502? Niggas be using their area codes, right? This is how we do it in the 502. Nigga, ain't nobody know, give a damn about your third world shit. Take your ass back to Guatemala. That's how they would roll. Because he don't know the zone. So either way, this is what this is telling us. That the older, we're supposed to be in the spirit of what? As if we were the younger. Now, what is the younger doing, man? We're still apt to learn. We're still apt to being instructed. And then in the other one that he says is talking about a readiness, right? And a readiness and acceptation of our servitude, man. That's what we glory in. Service, not authority, not rank. And yeah, the rank is important for the niggas that need rank. But all my years out here in Guatemala and all the people we done taught, Amiyatazar rolled out here for decades. When did we ever deal with rank, Amiyatazar?
Never.
Literally. And anybody else that came out here that studied and that got taught know that. Because it was the word and men's sincerity that kept us in order. These brothers still don't know. Amiyatazar, what's my rank? Do you know my rank from the school?
No.
Why not?
You've never mentioned it to me.
And how long? What year did we meet?
2003.
All right. October 2003, to be precise.
For real.
So I'm not countering the way we were raised up in the UPK, man. But if I was in a place that needed that needed to be implemented, and it was more beneficial, then I would do that. But the man rolled like a general when he was in his prime, when he was out here. He was definitely a general, brother. And the Most High taught me many things through him. Faith, levels of faith being one of them. big time. I ain't gonna lie. And that's why the only reason I could do that was because I had to sit back and see what it was he had to learn. And I used to smash him. I've been telling this other brother, you got to watch this animal. Keep him on a short leash. And the time went before you know it, I had to have Amayatazar watching that other animal and keeping him on a short leash. That's how it was. We was dealing with who was right and who was wrong. And how did he end up getting authority? The brother that was over him that taught him that what the brother, there's a brother, you guys met, Dawiyah, you met Rashwan.
Yeah.
I sent him out there because I wanted him to stay a year with you guys so he could get a vision on what it was we were working toward out here. And the State Department didn't allow him to stay there for anything over 6 months because he was from England. So he came back here, went back and had to handle some matters in London. And this is when he shared the information with Amayatazar. Amayatazar called me up and said, brother, can I come out? I said, yeah, brother. And he came out, and in a matter of like 6 months, he was already over the brother because he was willing to deal with responsibility. This brother right here, Amayatazar was willing to serve. Literally, he was willing to serve. And this other brother wasn't. And you remember Dawiyah, because the brother came out there and thought he was just going to stay up and sleep up with everybody and not work.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm saying that's those that come in and serve the Most High, that's what he wants. He wants us to lock into what our calling is, and it's to serve. I continue to read, Dawiyah.
He that is chief as he that doth serve, for whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat, but I am among you as he that serveth.
See that? When it says he that sitteth at meat, if you grew up out here, you would know, because out here they got positions, right? All the households, they got muchachas and muchachos, right? These are the male and female servants. And so the ones that sitting down, they're always being waited on. This is Christ speaking from the perspective, not of those that's always being waited on, but those that are always doing the waiting. He said, I'm among you not as one that sitteth, I'm among you as one that serveth. And we're supposed to follow that example, huh? This authority gonna get us killed, man. This authority, that's why Christ said what? Christ said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. You better start acting like the last. That's what we're supposed to do, huh? We're supposed to start acting like the last. When the Most High showed me that. That's why, brother, that's a whole nother lesson, man. Anyway, I want to go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 3. Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha. I'm gonna show you the verse when I get there. I'm almost there. And verse 18.
Verse 18. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, verse 18. Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter.
In the Apocrypha.
Chapter 3, verse 18.
And you're going to read verse 18 all the way down to verse 20, all right?
God. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
And that's why the Most High is taking a lot of these brothers that are all of us from our generation and beyond. That's why the Most High is removing them. We came up on that. I said, you would think that Israel, we keep on wanting the same poison. We like them niggas that walk into an old Western bar and they be like, what do you have? Well, give me the same old poison. That's us. Because we want, and I'm talking about the elders, I'm talking about the men that are in the position of being like the chief shepherds. And I say chief shepherds, not for the sake of exalting, but because there are men, there is a hierarchy. There are men that have more year. There are men that have more time and more tenure. And therefore, like Christ said, more is expected of us. That's reality. So he says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. And then what will happen as a result of that? Read it again.
And thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
That's how you get the favor of the heaven. That's how you please Yahweh. That's how you please Yahweh Shai, man. By serving and by letting people know, by constantly, that's why you go to I constantly remind our congregations, no, I'm a Yatzah, you know that, you be there. I constantly keep us in check. I constantly keep me and my perspective, because I don't want them beginning to see me for more than what I am. And that's what Paul even said, that nobody what? He said the Most High, that men didn't perceive me to be more than what I am. The Lord sent Satan to buffet me and gave him that continual thorn in the flesh so that people could see that what? That weak side. And I don't mean weak as in spiritually weak. I'm talking about so that you can see that what? That side that they know that you need them as well as they need you.
Vulnerability.
That vulnerability, man, that brotherliness, huh? I want to say it, man, within reach, you know. There's a word in Spanish and Portuguese that I know, but I can't say it. Attainable, reachable, that you're attainable. Well, I used to hear certain elders say, y'all ain't gonna never be on our level. And I wouldn't say nothing because in my mind, the scriptures were showing me, we ain't trying to be, you ain't the fucking mark. You're not the prize, Christ is. You mean you damn right I'm not gonna be on your level, I'm gonna be over your level. And you gonna be over your level if you lock into Christ. It was all that we come up, Israel, it's ISUPK, because I was a part of that, and my roots are there, have a legacy of exalting ourselves, huh? Most High taught me that one of the first lessons I got that counted that we're the only ones was I'm out here, my third year, I done opened up the store, then opened up the school, and this brother from Peru walks by. I thought he might, I thought he was from Peru or Chile. And brothers be looking alike, you know, about my height, long ass hair. He didn't speak no English. He walks by and he stops, and he does a double take, and he goes, hermano, ¿de qué estás involucrado? He's asking me, what are you into, man? And I got me a flyer from the store. I'm like, come on in, I can show you better than because I like to get, you know how that was. We try to do as much talking inside the store, right?
Yeah.
So I got him inside. He wouldn't come first. He kept saying, no, man, what are you into? And I was like, I tried to handle a flyer. He wouldn't take the flyer. And then he finally goes, no, me refiero a algo esotérico. He goes, I'm talking about you into something esoteric. And I wasn't even, I was thinking money. I was on the job grinding. I go, oh. I said, brother, I'm an Israelite and I teach the Bible. He goes, ya sabía. I knew it. And I said, well, how'd you know? He said, porque yo soy israelita también, because I'm an Israelite also. And then he says, what you doing? Then he wanted to come in. And he stayed there for a couple of hours on the Yataza. He was on his way to Canada to go and pick up a son. He got with one of the Native American women up in Canada reservation. And he was from Chile. I don't know how he did that, but he had a daughter with her. So he's on his way up there to make his way back down to Peru. So he came inside, man. We just talked about it, and he said, well, let me buy you some lunch. I said, I'm treating. He said, man, you ain't gonna come out of your pocket, brother. Literally, he stayed there for 2 weeks, and for 2 weeks, he didn't let me spend any of my money at my own store, literally. And he sat there and gave me the history of how a young pastor, a priest out of the Catholic Church in Peru named Ishmael Yatacuzi, it's an Indian name, right? One of the old Incas. This dude was a Catholic priest, and one day he walked out into his parishioners and broke down Deuteronomy 28 and showed them we're the Israelites. He started off with verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation from far, because that's what they had experienced. He saw it all. This brother was telling me the story of the history that was very similar to the story I've heard about Yaquab and Ariyah. And so it took a few decades, but before this man died, his work had reached out of Peru into Bolivia and Ecuador. And it was like a congregation, man, mass congregation of like 25,000 people. So he would come by every day, rap to me, stay for a couple of hours, buy me lunch, and then took off and hugged me, man, and I never saw him again. And I knew the elders didn't do that. The Most High did. The elders didn't go down to New York, to Chile or to Peru and wake nobody up. The Most High woke them people up because Christ said he would do that. Now, let me say this. It wasn't no one congregation. It happened just like it's happening now in the United States. How this one place, the Most High, was bringing the most comprehensive knowledge out of ISUPK. And then other people you know, they would come and then they'd break off and start their own branch. Most people was coming out of, but the brothers and elders at ICPK, they didn't start it off. They were students under other people. That ain't the home of the truth. I keep telling you, heaven is the home of the truth first and foremost, and the first place that the Most High planted it in. It tells you that in the scriptures. Most High tells you wisdom, man, and it comes up mightily. It gives you all of these things. I came forth like the. We're gonna read it after. Let's finish reading this. I'm gonna show you. Let's talk about the home of the truth. Shit, talk about it all. Go ahead, read that verse again, verse 18.
Greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor for the Lord.
Go ahead.
Many are in high place and renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
See that? So just because you sitting up in that preeminent spot, that principal spot among brothers, the Most High, that don't mean he revealed them to you. You ain't the only one. He tells you, and the Most High reach under you and reveal it to the man under you. That's what he'll do. He said, many are in these positions, but the Lord revealeth them to the meek. He revealed the secrets to the meek. Go ahead.
For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
What does that mean? The power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. That means the Most High reaches down into the lowest stratas of society in order to be glorified. Because why? Because you look at kings and great educated men and eloquent speakers, and people can automatically assume that they're the most likely to succeed, that they're the most likely to make groundbreaking changes in life. But no one expects that from a sheep herder like David. That's why the Most High reached and got David. I brought you from the sheepcote. But what had David done to garner that attention from the Most High? The Most High watched David. What had David done to garner that attention from the Most High? The Most High watched David, how David cared for his father's flock, how David jeopardized his life with a lion on one occasion and a bear on another. And the Most High said, wow, if David would do that for animals, from his father's animals, and jeopardize his life in the face of lions and bears, what will he do on behalf of my flock, for my people? That's right, and that's where the glory comes. Remember, Israel was full of mighty men during the days of David. And all it took was Goliath to jump up and scare them. Why? Because it wasn't about the men being afraid. It was about the Most High was saying, all eyes on David now. That's why. But the Most High reached down into the humble strata of Israelite society. You understand? He reached down into the humble strata of Israelite society and raised up. And in that dynamic, the Most High is honored. Because like I said, man expect for that greatness to come from what? Families of pedigree. Families whose lineage is bred to be noble. And so the Most High is glorified in that because people attribute the greatness of that person from their breeding, from their family pedigree, from their education, from their riches, from their military prowess. David had none of the above. And the Most High chose David. And keep on this coconut, man. All right. Read that last verse one more time.
It says right here, verse 20, for the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. See,
right. And then everything that the Most High tells us about how to acquire the love of the Lord is by way of servitude to the congregation now. And we're not supposed to raise ourselves up or allow ourselves to be esteemed for more than what we are. Then I'm going to find that, I don't know if it's in 2 Corinthians, but I want you guys to find that where it said the Most High sent Satan to buffet him. Paul said, lest I should be esteemed above measure. In other words, the Most High, Paul understood that the Most High did that. It's in chapter 12 of 2 Corinthians.
Chapter 12.
Now I'm going to show you something. We're going to start off at verse 5.
all right, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, And then verse 5.
Go ahead. Well, let everybody get it first. Go ahead.
Of such an one will I glory. Yet of myself will I not glory, but in my infirmities.
So if we are going to glory, when it says glory, now we're going to recognize ourselves. And we're going to garner, hold up, y'all, let me drink this water. Are we going to garner to ourselves recognition? Then it's supposed to be in what? In our infirmities. Now, before we move forward, somebody give me the definition of infirmity so we can be clear on that. So we don't, some of us don't have one idea of what it is, and the others have another idea.
Physical or mental weakness.
Anybody got it?
Infirmity, 1828 Webster Dictionary, reads, an unsound or unhealthy state of the body.
Listen, an unsound or unhealthy state of the body, that simply means a physical ailment. Huh? And we got that. Some of us are obese. Some of us got all these, like me, I got all these articulatory and nerve issues and stuff from my days of fighting in football and motorcycle accidents. See, it is what it is. But he says, this is what I'm not, and then coming into the truth is what? Those infirmities get exploited in the spirit.
Yeah.
So as to give you something to fight through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, guess what it's designed to do by the Most High? Paul recognized it for what it was. Read on down. Thank you, Manuel. I want the verse now.
Okay. Verse 6. For though I would desire to glory.
Oh, hold on. Hey, baby. All right, go ahead. I just had to get some more. Have to bring me some more of that coconut oil, man. That stuff is working.
Come.
I mean, I got my miracle stuff now, but
For your throat. For your voice.
Saturdays is on, brother.
Come. Verse 6. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. For I will say the truth, but now I forbear. Lest
He said, I would desire to glory. He mean, there's a part of me that do want recognition. Thank you. Hold on. There's a part of me that do want recognition for what I do. But I would be a fool. Go ahead.
it says, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above which he seeth me to be.
Read it again.
Lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be.
Yeah, the Bible said, I'm not going to let nobody think more of me than what I am. That's what that's saying. And this is wrong when we allow men to begin to think that it's about us. It ain't nothing about us. In fact, our objective is to be able to be used by the Most High in Christ to what? To bring the men up under us to be greater than what we desire to be. Now, people will say that's not true. That is true. Christ himself told the scriptures, marvel not at the things that I do. He said, you see these things, ye shall do greater.
I mean, that would be like a reflex of any teacher, I would think.
Say that again,
I think that would be the reflex of any teacher. Because if you're teaching somebody, you want them to further you. I mean,
you're in your right mind. See, we can't say that about everybody. Everybody don't understand that the goal is to make the next generation greater. But why? Because the next generation is going to have to face greater perils. And that's in the Bible. That's in the Apocrypha. For eviler things than these shall come to pass. Who would have thought when I was growing up, we wasn't dealing with the threat of children. You got LGBT activists, just to give you an example. LGBT activists now are trying to pass or trying to introduce bills with the intention of making them laws that all children get puberty inhibited until they decide what it is they want to be.
Sorry.
That means they want to give your kids shots before puberty so that they don't start developing into a man or woman until they grow up and decide what they want to be. So until then, let's block their natural processes. We didn't have to deal with that. We had to deal with bullies. And we know how to handle bullies. We fought. And we ended up becoming friends with the bullies. But today they have, so why would my objective be to be used as an instrument to help men develop themselves to have to deal with perils that I never thought would happen? These ain't ideas and concepts that I even dreamed of. Worst thing that could happen to a kid was growing up to end up on the milk cart. And of course, probably was the same stuff going on, unknown, but now it's out in the open, and now there are advocate groups for this type of evil. Brother Karash, from New York, well, he's not in New York now, but I met him, he was in our camp. He posted a poster, they got this book called the Gay ABC book. It's Gay ABC. A is for asshole, B is for, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. It's called the Gay ABC. You know, C is for cookie muncher. I'm just saying, that's what it is. I'm guessing if you're looking for it. The
Don't forget the drag queen story, Alan.
Hey, public libraries, brother. So you can't tell me that our objective should not be to raise up brothers with the intention of contributing to their greatness, surpassing any greatness that we hope to. There you go. Check it out. You see, I think I'll copy the message of them exaggerating.
Wow.
I can imagine what that damn thing says.
That is madness.
You see that? Now, do you think my job should be to tell students, or to even if I never said to operate within it, to have eternal subjects, eternal subordinates? No, my objective is to make you guys my counselor, my strategist, because we're going to need strong counsel. Deep spiritual strategy to get through this. This ain't about no damn rank. This ain't about who's the top man. This is about who's the top servant. Who's the greatest servant, huh? Read on down, W. Read that verse, the second half. Well, read all of verse 6 again.
Verse 6. Although I would desire to glory, I should not be a fool, for I will say the truth. But now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me.
Yeah, because people be talking about, yeah, man, this brother be, and then you know how people's reputation go and get around. That's why you be seeing all these posts of these cats, they be posting their leaders of their elders, the guys in purple, they be posting this dude, 90,000 people here. I'm outside to give a damn about all your damn religion. 90,000 people in this country and all the so many subscribers. And Christ said the gate that leadeth to destruction is wide, and there be many that go thereby. That's what Christ. That's why we know, man, these cats. But I'm not making no blanket statements, but I'm giving you the description of what Christ said to look out for. He said, narrow is the gate that lead to righteousness, and few that go thereby. And then you put that together with Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 16. And the Lord says, though I have scattered thee among the countries, yet will I be unto you a small sanctuary. Go there real quick. Don't lose what you got. Mawala, you go there. Go to Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 16.
Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 6, right?
Verse 16.
Verse 16. 11 and verse 16. Read. Right here. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, although I have cast them far off among the heathen,
And although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
So number one, that knocks out one fucking place. See, I'm going back to that, man. That idea, Amayetazar, burns me out. This idea that brothers can think that one place is the home of the truth. The Most High said, I done scattered them among the countries, and I done driven them among the nations. But everywhere where I have driven them, everywhere the countries will I be a little sanctuary. Read it again, read it again from the top.
Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16 reads, therefore say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the country, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
Wait a minute. In the countries plural or countries singular?
Countries.
Plural.
So you could take that home of the truth, if it's not of ISUPK, and put that somewhere, man. You better put that on some dusty old shelf, because that's a lie that you're telling that congregation and the world. That ain't what we just read it. Said, I'm gonna be everywhere. Now you can talk about being on the top, but we just read about exalting yourself. Now we got to find another scripture after we read this in 2 Corinthians, where the Lord instructs us specifically to seek not of the Lord preeminence. Man, you ain't supposed to want to be the one on top. But before, let's finish this up. Go ahead, Dawiyah. You back in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Now you're going to read verse 7.
Verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations.
Listen, just hold on. And so when it says least I should be exalted above measure, that means so that I don't be exalted above measure. And he tells you what is it that causes him to run the risk of being exalted above measure. He says it's by all the revelations that the Most High brought, meaning all the knowledge and all the clarity that the Most High brings to the congregation through you, through your shepherdhood, through your stewardship, through your servitude, through your service. The Most High clearly done brought a lot of revelation through you. But so that you don't what? So that we don't be exalted above measure, what do the Most High do? Go ahead.
There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
See that? So that shows you the Most High even do things to us. He allows Satan to afflict us in certain ways. That's why I got this one, me and Amayetazar dealing with this other congregation out. But how did I get introduced to Amayetazar? How many months was I on crutches? While I was teaching y'all on the crutches, I had just been introduced to this new congregation, and brother, they thought I was probably a paraplegic. Their first day meet me, I'm on crutches, and I didn't look like I was always pulling my legs out of cold water, putting it in the hot water during class. And there ain't no way that nobody want, no man, no general, no captain, no, you know what I mean, want to be seen. You want to be seen as a strong leader. I'm hobbling. But I understood it. And this is what helped me to understand it. Now, if the Most High would go that far as to allow Satan to exploit our infirmities out, then how much farther are we supposed to go to humble ourselves so that it don't have to get to that? Peradventure, we could what? Prevent it from getting to that just by remaining humble, by understanding that humility is nothing more than an acceptation of one's insignificance. It ain't about us. It ain't about me as the individual. It ain't about my image. That pride is nothing more than a what? Than an unwarranted estimation of oneself. An unwarranted overestimation, to highly esteem yourself for what, nigga? You ain't created nothing. You ain't breathed life into nobody. You reading the book that our fathers read. We be reading this scripture where the Lord says, and bow thyself before great men. It ain't talking about nobody on this earth among us. It's talking about the book, the men that the Most High used to write this book. This is who we honor and bow to. This is who we shut our mouth before. Brothers be breaking this down like it's talking about they ghetto ass. They minimum wage making ass. Brother Shammai, give me that scripture, brother. And bow thyself and be silent before great men. Nigga ain't talking about nobody on this earth right now. The only thing we're great in is wickedness.
Yeah, Nugget had a question.
Yes, brother.
Hey, sorry. When you mentioned that, it just brought to mind. I'm not trying to isolate, any group, any affiliation, but it's funny, kind of like with IUIC as the pride, I guess, increases over time. I noticed that messages are starting to change here and there. Even boldly making statements now, ever so often, like you can have sex on the Sabbath, 1, and 2, boldly stating that multiple wives, for example, is not of God.
Yeah, a bunch of ass feminizers, right? That's because they serve women.
Older.
Shit what nobody say.
First it was like a little murky, but now it's just getting more and more, apparent.
You know why? Because that's what the scriptures say. Knowledge puffeth up, and all them masses, they're allowing the few people that are, when we start off at grassroots, and the Most High begin to demonstrate that He is working through us, and that Christ does go before us, and then we lose focus and get into us. And so then the masses are always going to be drawn to carnality. People don't know that. It's easy to get masses, brother. I could bring the Most High could use Satan. Let me just bring that right back and correct it. Satan could use me in a war and any one of y'all brothers to start bringing masses up into this school. All we got to do is drop the standard. That's all we got to do. What we got to do is drop the standard, make it easy. Anybody get to sit on the podium. Y'all have already been through that. You start making the work ethic. There's no criteria anymore. You don't check the women. You understand? It's easy to get masses. All you gotta do is do what they do in church. Tell people what they want to hear. They'll bring you all the money in the world. That's reality. Like the scriptures say, speak unto us smooth things. They'll make you rich. And that's what's taking place all over the world in Israel. Brothers ain't staying true. So read that again, Dawiyah, verse 7 again.
Verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
That means so that I don't be exalted above measure, the Most High allowed Satan to what? To exploit my what? To exploit my physical ailments. So that people could, and the objective, if the objective is for me not to be seen above measure, that means the Most High want what? To abase me in the sight of people. He want them to see my ass hobbling on crutches. That's why Brandy said, oh wow, you offer the crutches. Because they gave her that session of foundations. And so everybody getting their foundations is seeing me on crutches. And then they come to the class on Saturday and be like, oh, he's walking now. They're like, whoa, they thought they had a damn quadriplegic shepherd, But from there, I go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 7. And we're going to read verses 4 through 6.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 4 through 6. Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor.
Now stop. Let's go look up what preeminent is. You can look up eminent, but I prefer that you look up preeminent. Yatazah, man. Next week, start Monday, man. I got to get back into them exercises, brother. Because at any moment out that thing could break. I got to be free to be able to do that. What you got? Anybody got preeminent?
Yeah, fine.
It says,
Yeah, y'all gonna draw straws?
excellence. And it says superiority and excellence and distinction in something commendable.
Okay, man, listen, that's beautiful. But for the sake of the stream, bring it a little closer, or whoever's closest read it. I can hear it good, but I want to make sure the people in the audience, the people that's going to be listening to the stream, that is completely audible. Go ahead and read it. Read it really, really nice.
It says superiority and excellence and distinction in something commendable.
Right. In something commanded,
Commendable.
in something commendable.
Commendable, my bad.
That's okay, thank you. So that means preeminence, superiority, or excellence in something commendable. That means good deeds. So this is what we do. What we do, what? Stewards and shepherds and servants to the Most High's flock is commendable. And the scriptures tell you in Proverbs 12:8, what? A man shall be commended according to his wisdom. But the scriptures also tell us here what? To seek not to the preeminence before the Lord. We're supposed to be, we're not looking for recognition in being the top whatever. That's not what we're supposed to do. So when you constantly always telling people that you're the commanding general, or you're the high priest, or you're the most prolific bishop, you guys are losing it, man. And Christ said, every man that exalteth himself shall be abased. I don't give a shit if you do get mad or angry. You understand? Because we're reading all of it out the Bible. When you start running around here giving faulty wisdom, and then making it seem like because if you trust in the Lord, you get the vaccine. It's just as and more easy to say, if I trust in the Lord, I know I don't need the vaccine. And let me say this: they talking about making it a law mandatory, so you justify that, brother. The Babylon made it mandatory for the three holy children to bow to the image, and they didn't do it. You're talking about Daniel was prohibited from praying 3 times a day. That's why he got thrown in the lion's den. The time is going to come when you sorry ass Israelites are going to have to recognize that a line is being drawn in the sand, and you better fucking have your shit together. You run around here telling people to take a vaccine because it don't appear to be the mark, but then you turn around and describe the repercussion of not taking it as the very same conditions described as the mark in Revelation chapter 13. This is ridiculous, huh? So the time is going to come where what? Where we going to have to trust in the Most High according to the scriptures. The time is going to come when we're going to have to do like Daniel said and said, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to trust the Heavenly Father. We're going to have to do like this, the three holy children say, no, even if our God does not deliver us, we will not bow to that image. That's what we're going to have to do. That time is coming. You keep saying the Lord will deliver you. Nigga, you ain't even putting yourself in a position for the Lord to deliver you. You're so ready to acquiesce and teaching everybody else to do so with your twisted reasoning. Listen, the Most High is pulling his spirit up off you, brother. I don't give a shit what you think. The Most High is pulling his spirit up off of that brother. Going around here contradicting himself in the space of an hour, 3 or 4 times. They're going to turn around and recognize all the evil that Israel was done to by Esau, all the evil that Esau's done through his medical institution and through his science, and then not offer up anything else and say, yeah, but take the vaccine. But because why, nigga? Because why? Because General Yohana said so. I'm sorry, Commanding General Yohana said so. Nigga, ain't nobody following you. Ain't nobody following you. You ain't died for nobody. You ain't shed your filthy, contaminated, parasite-ridden blood for nobody. That's the whole nation. Ain't none of us, because none of us is worthy. And on top of that, you can't come back and say why. Go and tell us about how your very own project was contaminated and that you grew up and saw the difference after they done sprayed something. But y'all going to get that vaccine. The Most High gonna deal with a whole lot of Israelites, and that's why the scriptures say the righteous. The Lord already tell you that the unbelieving and the ungodly is gonna get messed up, but he tells you the righteous shall scarcely make it. That means those of us that's really trying. That's what the righteous mean. We're not righteous because we're righteous. We're righteous because of the effort. We're righteous because of the conscious effort that we're making toward the Most High in Christ to come back to him. But it says the righteous shall scarcely make it. You go look up at that word scarcely, it means a few. It's like when there's a scarcity in food, a scarcity in money in circulation, a scarcity in water, a scarcity in rain. But this is a scary thing. I can say, brother, I'll draw that flag and take that heat from everybody. I don't care. I do not care. The Most High showed me long ago, man, stand up for the truth. Like the scriptures say, strive for the truth until death. And the Lord shall, I'll take an ass whooping for this truth. Believe me, I done took worse than an ass whooping down here. I took worse than an ass whooping up there in the States. My ass done been on the doors of death twice in the truth already. Been in prison down here. I mean, yesterday we was both talking about that. How you made it a point, we made it a point not to, you can't drink the water if you ain't from here. That's no joke. Brother, you'll end up getting some amoebas. And then the first thing, by 3 days, your face is all sucked in. You're throwing up and defecating, brother. But when we went to prison, and none of us, a lot of us had it. That was the only water we could drink. We didn't get sick. We just talked about that a couple of nights ago, or a couple of weeks ago, right? How it was amazing. Because then getting out again and drinking, you get sick again.
For real.
The Most High chastising us. I keep the medicine. I got all of those herbs and remedies downstairs right now. The 3 herbs it's like now the medicine for it, the herbs will make you prefer to just die of that sickness. That's how bitter. Guess what it is? It's wormwood. Like you want to kill the eggs for amoebas, you got to have wormwood. Wormwood in Spanish is ajenjo. And then that's what actually kills the actual eggs. But then you got to stop the diarrhea. So the diarrhea is jacaranda. That's one of the bitter leaves of some of the trees around here. The jacaranda, it's sometimes they use gravilea or jacaranda to give shade to the coffee plantation, right? And then the other one is a bark from encino, which is oak. You got to have oak, wormwood. I don't know how to say jacaranda, and I don't know what type of tree jacaranda is in English. But that's just for those. We got a whole herbal pharmacy downstairs on the other side, because you know how it was. How many times have we making you that tea?
Yeah, that's it. Tea was disgusting. My goodness.
But the first time I took that, I cried.
Honestly,
because I was sitting there flipping a coin. I was trying to figure out, okay, do I die or do I take it? And death sounded sweeter, brother. I was like, it was crying, brother. And that's the Most High. We're nothing, brother. He humble you. I would say, I done been at death's door, man. And I'm going to tell you what, it's a pleasure when the Most High chastise you to bring you back, to make you see things clearer. Because sometimes he do it. Brothers always attribute you getting your ass whooped because you done did something evil. But that's what the Most High tell you he do to all those that gold is being tried through the fire and accepted women through the furnace of adversity. That be the case sometimes. You don't always be negative. Sometimes there's another level that the Most High wants you to get, and you are not the quality of consciousness that he needs. Your effort, what you are giving is what you think is your best until he take you to them doors. He take you to death doors, you come back on fire. Yeah. That's how it be. You don't always be you done did something evil. Hell, now look what the Most High did to Job. Now we're not Job, but coming in under Christ, the scriptures say that all that shall live godly shall be afflicted. All that seek to live godly shall be persecuted. It's because you're trying to do the right thing. That's why. It's what's so evil. Hear something happen to you, and then it's like the way they talk about the Lord, the Most High tear his ass up. That's how that be their mind. Like they be having that evil too. This is what I learned in New York. This is one of the many lessons I got. I got positive and negative. From ISUPK was the greatest experience. And if I had to go back to do it, I'd do it again, just like I did, and be willing to take more bitter. Why? Because that's part of the lesson. Job even knew that. Should a man receive good of the Lord and not receive evil? And the Most High is teaching us what to do, how to be, and then he's coming back and giving us 3D first-hand lessons on what not to do and how not to be. Both lessons have to be as valuable as the other. You can't get a weak display and a weak lesson on evil and then turn around and get a powerful lesson on righteousness. The lesson in evil has to equal and counter the lesson in good. My brothers talking about, man, and then they did this, and then they did that, and then they did this, and then they break off from the word. Nigga, was you reading the Bible? The scriptures say, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Go ahead, Dawiyah. Call the verse out.
This is right here. It says, got a little lost.
You was looking at preeminent. It's chapter 7 and verse 4 again. Ecclesiastes.
Okay, stop. Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. Justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king.
Yeah, the Most High said you're not supposed to do that before man, the king, or him. Seek the preeminence, boasting yourself for your wisdom, huh? You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to you're supposed to demonstrate it. The people are supposed to benefit from your wisdom, not always not hear you or having men. Let me say this. There's another scripture that says, boast not of thyself, but let others boast of thee. And then once they start boasting of you in your name, you're supposed to put them in check, huh? Daniel went before the king to break down the king's vision and said, first of all, let me say that this is not because I know anything or that there's no wisdom in me, but that there's a God in heaven that revealeth secrets. All of our prophets and our predecessors, right, was always giving glory to the Most High. And all those that did otherwise were rejected by the Most High. That's the reality of it, huh? What verse you at?
Verse 6. Seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity.
Yeah, so that we're not these authorities and judges. We that's why I said none of us died for nobody. Ain't nobody walking on this earth have the right to say that somebody else is not of the Lord. Nigga, you're stepping beyond your measure. That authority isn't given to man to say who is the Lord with. Talking about you have no affiliation. You do have an affiliation. You don't have no fellowship with everybody. We're all affiliated just by being Negroes. Go look up affiliation. We're all affiliated by being Israelites, right? But whether we have a fellowship is another question. Do we what? Are we in communication and do we pass time together? No, not all the Israelites do that, not all the Israelite groups. But we are all associated and affiliated by virtue of our father Jacob. Let's look up affiliation. Somebody get affiliation. I could be wrong. The definition might make me wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll swallow it. But nigga, you're an Israelite. And we are Israelites. And whether we talk daily or not, it's one thing, huh?
Affiliate, to adopt, to receive into a family.
No, listen, that's a good one, but you gotta read louder. But I wanted affiliation. Affiliate is like it's reading a verb, to affiliate.
And I got it right here. Adoption, association in the same family or society.
Wow, stop. What is affiliation?
Association in the same family.
Association in the same family. Would Jacob fall under the description of a family? Didn't Jacob have 12 sons? And we all come from one of those 12 sons? I told you I know what I'm talking about. We are affiliated. We just not what? We don't have a fellowship. Not all of the Israelites. there's a couple of brothers in IUIC that I've talked with that was very brotherly, man. Fell in love with the brother in the first conversation. Beautiful brother. And there's brothers all throughout Israel. I love all of Israel, man. And I know brothers gonna look at my videos and find something wrong. Okay, bro, I ain't running around here teaching evil. Let's say I got a breakdown wrong. All right, check me on the breakdown. Get with me on it. I've been open to that. I had a brother cuss me out one time. Poor brother, he passed away a while back. Brother did a video called Niggas Who Left the Truth. Of course, me with my carnal, curious ass, I went and watched the video. And this was back in the day when YouTube would only let you do 15-minute clips. So by the time I got to clip number 4, he was like, Kyle, where your nigga ass at? And I was like, damn, nigga, who you talking to? You know, and we was cool, right? He go, last time I heard you was heading down to South America, nigga, you just fell off the map. And literally, I'm sitting up there sweating like I'm a roller. And then something said, brother, listen to what he's saying. He's saying the last time he heard you was headed down to South America and you fell off the map. I said, this dude really what he's saying is, what you doing? How come you ain't reaching out? So I wrote him in his comments. I said, hey, Bonlo Ya. I said, listen, man, you write me your number. I'm gonna call you on my Skype application. He responded, damn, bro. Wrote me his number, and we talked like on 3 occasions for 5 hours each time. And then about a year later, he passed away, man. He's a brother, he's a Haitian brother. His family had all gotten destroyed in them earthquakes and stuff, had gotten killed in earthquakes and stuff down in Haiti. But the Most High showed me, see, that's how you got to start looking at it. You can't always look at, this like in 2006, between 2006, 2008. I think you was there. I don't know if you back when I used to make my calls in the back office.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, so that was 2009 then, you know? It was 2009, man, and about 2 years later, the brother died, or whatever year it was. Time is flying, to be honest. I don't even know, I can't remember what year. I just know it was briefly after we had to talk. We talked on a couple of occasions, man. And I told you that. I explained it to you. I said, man, this brother cussed the brother out and, you know, blew a brother up over YouTube. And some said, why don't you just try doing what the scriptures say and making peace? The scriptures say a soft answer turneth away wrath. And the brother wasn't coming wrathful. He wasn't mad at me. He just literally titled the thing, Niggas That Left the Truth. And then my name was among them, right? So after the fourth one, after I heard my name, I even listened to them all. I just wrote the brother. I went through my little changes. I went through my carnal shit. I went through that, and then I said, okay, all right, now I got that out of my system. I'm talking about back in our school, with our classroom. I just went through all that, and I said, okay, let me see what'll happen if I just exercise Proverbs like it says. And I typed in, hey, brother, man, thank you for reaching out. I said, man, you know, your classes be very, edifying. I said, if you give me your number, I'll give you a call and I'll give you an update on what I've been doing. And bang. And we was brothers ever since. He was one of the brothers that was under myself and Mashaba in the Trooper program in New York. That evolved into the Hebrew Academy. Then it got taken over by the Comfort and all that stuff. So it just showed me, man, we're supposed to be able to be like that with one another. We were out of fellowship, but we're always in association. So we found out that an association is what? To be membered or linked to. We continue to read it. Is it still up there? You got the rest of the definition, Mawala?
Yeah. No, that's it.
Read it again.
Adoption, association in the same family.
Listen, adoption, comma, or you are reading the definition of affiliation, right?
Yeah, this is
so it's saying adoption or, go ahead.
Association in the same family or society.
In the same family or society. So how the hell anybody gonna say, any one group of Israelites, I would say a lot of them, I don't take it personal because I know they mean something else. So, and I know there's something else that they really mean is fellowship, whether they'll say that. But fellowship is being what? Passing time together. Now let me say this. Fellowship is also a word that means friendship, right? So you got to be very careful when you start talking about we're not affiliated, and then you can't just throw out the term we don't fellowship. You got to just say what you said, man. We don't, we get so many Israelite groups, and we don't agree on a lot of things sometimes, But and so we're not in the communication. Yeah, man, we be in disagreement. We be having harsh words for one another. But brother, you never say that we're not in affiliation because we are family, huh? We're family, man. Whether you want it, whether you like it or not. And I know that's how the brothers are. They're not like that. They don't dislike the fact that they're family members with other brothers. They love the fact that they're family, that they recognize each other as the sons and daughters of Jacob. It's just Israel be what? Be trying to make it seem like one congregation or one calling or one group got something that another group don't got. And even though that might be the case, and that's how the scriptures describe the body anyway. The scriptures, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, describe that as the operation of the body, man. Stop trying to make it be like your ass is the important one and nobody else matters, because the scriptures say, don't say that. Because thou art not the eye, I have no need of thee. We just fucking sick. That's the problem with Israel. You know who the Most High gonna save Israel from? Us. Now Kyle Cobden talks heretics. No, Christ said, the scriptures say that about Christ in Matthew, that he would save his people from their sins. When you read all the prophecies in the Old Testament, it said the Lord shall save us from our iniquity and from our idolatry and from our wickedness and cleanse us from that. We got to be saved from ourselves, huh? We're our own worst enemy. Damn the white man, the only reason we under him is because we wouldn't obey. The Most High allowed us to govern ourselves with his laws, and we wouldn't. And so he put a cruel governor over us. That's why it ain't him, it's us. It's us, it's us. We're not, how many times y'all be hearing me say it? We are not, you look in the mirror, go home and say, nigga, you are not the victim, you are the culprit. And then put some handcuffs on your ass and drag your ass off into a prayer chamber or something and pray. We're not no victims, we're the culprits, huh? Okay, where you at, Dawiyad? What verse was that?
Verse 6, seek not to be judged, being not able to take away sin, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and lay a stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness.
And that's what you're doing now. Listen to this. Seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity. None of us can take away iniquity, so we shouldn't operate as though we're judges, right? Lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty. Now you might come across like you ain't fearing the mighty, but from what this brother said concerning what the I'm gonna say what the perils, what the repercussions of not taking the vaccine is what? Is not being able to get your re-up on your EBT card, not being able to re-up on your license and registration, not being able to re-up on your car insurance, not being able to go to the beach, not being able to travel freely, being locked up in the house. He specifically said with your head all wrapped up like a mummy. That means what? For you to say that and use that as a way of motivating people, as a way of inciting Israel, as a way of urging or strongly suggesting that Israel take the vaccine, that is to say you fear the mighty. Why? Because you fear the repercussions. Because he is mighty. He do got the power to cut off our what? Our EBT cards, our food stamps. He do have the power to refuse a renewal of our driver's license and registration and license and insurance. He got the power to do all of that and above and more. But that's why, the very reason why you ain't supposed to be trying to be some damn judge or try to be the commanding general or try to be the high priest. Talking about to those who claim to be the high priest. Because you can't absolve nobody. You can't command nobody. You ain't nobody's damn commander. You people's servants. And you did a great disservice to the whole nation by telling people and all them and them 3 yes men that was up there. Them niggas didn't even look like that. So why y'all always got these fucking glasses on? These dark ass shades. Let the people see the eyes. Niggas be indoors with all these damn shades on. Fucking what is that all about? I'm about looking into people's eyes, and I want people to see the earnestness in my eyes. Everybody run around here looking like Kumo fucking D. It's ridiculous, man. It's like you ain't got this connection with your people, or you don't want nobody getting inside you. And the scriptures say the light of the body is the eye. People need to see your eyes, man. One more, anyway, last time It says, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty and lay a stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness. And that's what he's doing. I don't care what nobody say. He's coming across like, I trust the Most High, so I'm going to take the vaccine. Well, you know what? You're not even informed. You're just blindly calling people conspiracy theorists, and the whole world is built on conspiracy. The fuck you think putting smallpox in blankets and doing a gesture of benevolence by giving Native Americans blankets in the winter? How do you do that without getting the damn smallpox yourself? That means the mechanism of delivery, everything has to be, that's a conspiracy. And a conspiracy is a plan by two or more people with the intention of doing something illegal, illicit, or unlawful. Go look up right now, conspiracy. The fuck is wrong with Israel? The world is replete. America didn't get built without conspiracy. America haven't been maintained without conspiracy, and America is going to fall in her conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Definition: a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. Plot, scheme, stratagem.
Now stop. What's the key word? Do it, say it again, read it again. The key word is what? Watch this.
A secret.
Stop. So it ain't gonna be open. It's a secret plan, not just a plan. It's a secret plan, nigga. So you gotta go searching. This is why Christ said, be vigilant, be sober, because thy adversary, the devil, I gotta talk a retard, goeth about seeking whom he may devour, because his plots, his plans, his conspiracies are secret. And the only reason why we are privy to those secrets is because, like in Habakkuk chapter 2, it says, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, the beam shall cry out of the wall, and the stone shall answer it and say, woe unto you that buildeth the city with iniquity, establish a city with blood. That means what? That you have, what is the beam? The beam is a load-bearing structure. Like you guys got them beams and posts right there. They sustain part of the weight that's above it. And then the stones in the walls are elements of the actual walls that protect from the elements outside. It's the wall. If the Lord is saying the beam is crying out and the stones from the wall is answering it, it's talking about elements of that structure crying out against itself about how it's being built or how it was built. And so that's why you get scientists, generals, politicians, virologists, epidemiologists, cancer doctors, all of these people coming forth from the system saying, hold on, this is designed to kill. Yes, it is. The scriptures tell you that that's what it is. The scriptures say the nations are confederate. And it tells you what? It doesn't use the word conspiracy, but the end result is that they conspired against us so that our name be not known anymore. They have consulted and confederate against thy hidden ones. Yeah, I don't get this shit with Israel, man. Then you call that trust in the Most High. Then you're going to actually recite. I'm going to keep on reiterating this until my time is up. You actually recited circumstances and conditions that are there basically to say you're not going to be able to do these commercial activities if you don't take the shot. That alone shows how sleep your ass is, because that is the criteria that the Bible says, but it just sums it up with buy and sell. But what are you really doing when you get your driver's license? You're buying permission to drive. What are you really doing when you get your car registration? You're buying permission to drive that car. What are you doing when you get insurance? You're buying insurance so that if you hit somebody or another car, that you can show that you're responsible. You're buying what? You're buying responsibility. That's what you're buying. You're buying what? The opportunity to drive and you're buying recognition for being financially responsible. All of it is commercial activity. And you guys said, if you don't do this, shit, food stamps, you're buying food. Period, point blank, God. Just that's how I know you're asleep. I don't give a damn if nobody else can see it. Your ass is asleep. You sleeping at the wheel, nigga. You like this. And the car and your foot done hit that damn accelerator. And the brakes is out. And you coming up on a curve with a deep embankment. I try to create all the variables that say danger, nigga. Wake up, put on the brakes, slow down. Because you ain't, listen up, I ain't the only one. Everybody saw it like, man, how many times this brother gonna contradict himself? You're gonna tell everybody, yeah, you willing to take the pay, you willing to work, risk being put to death or dying as a result of COVID. Well, then that's what happens if you don't take the vaccine. So which one is it? Which one is it? So the Most High tells us all, the scriptures say that if we don't receive anybody that don't receive the love of the truth, the Most High will send us a strong delusion that we will believe a lie. So what is the truth? What aspect of the truth? All of it. Ain't just talking about any one thing. Anything of the truth that we reject, that's the vehicle through which the leaven enter in. That's the vehicle through which that spirit come in and bind the strong man and take his goods. That's in Matthew 12, right? This is these numbers, and that only happens when we what? When we begin to have evil in our heart. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 real quick. This is what cut us off from that connection with the Most High.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Listen, I want you to read. Yeah, man, go ahead, start off at verse 1, and you're going to read all the way down to verse 5.
Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him.
But that means when it says simplicity, man, this is not complicated to please the Most High. Israel, we make life complicated. We make life complicated through all of our implementing our own ideas and wanting credit for something that we had nothing to do with. We ain't write this book. We ain't died for nobody. We ain't prophesied nothing. We're the students of we're the disciples of the Most High that have been exercised into various realms or various levels of apostleship. But the problem is we thinking that that's something that's us. It's not us. Keep on reading now.
For he will be found of them that tempt him not.
The Most High said, don't be testing him. He will be found of those that tempt him not. And so every time we do something contrary, we adopt a habit or an attitude or a practice that's clearly contrary to the writings, that's contrary to the gospel, that's contrary to the law, that's contrary to the testimony in any way, then we're tempting the Most High because we think we can get away with it. There's a presumptuous nature in that. We think that we have leeway that we don't really have. That's what presumptuousness is, or to be presumptuous, to presume that you got some type of latitude and freedom to do something that you don't have. Go ahead.
And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him.
That do not distrust him. How do you show trust in the Most High? First of all, you gotta stay in the book. You gotta stay in the Bible. You gotta stop making all of these extra, whatever you call them, these, let me say this, these lies, like about the home of the truth. I still ain't got to that one. I gotta get back to that one, about the home of the truth. Nigga, the home of the truth is the nation of Israel. And I'm gonna show y'all that. Go ahead, Art.
For forward thoughts separate from the Most High.
Now let's go see what forward is. Forward thoughts, because this is what we're dealing with. It's all in the thoughts. When your thoughts are forward, the Most High separates from you. And then unlike Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6, If you're locked in, what does the Most High say he does? It says wisdom will meet you in every thought. But if your thoughts are forward, then the Most High separates from you, and you be thinking that he's with you, but your thoughts are not the Most High's thoughts. But that be because what? You did all these things that displease the Most High to such degree that he finally withdraw from you, and you don't even know it. You got to stop all of these bad, you got to stop drawing this attention to yourself. You got to stop acting like the Lord said, I is some fucking letters on 125th Street. Niggas walking around with the fucking address of the old school. What kind of shit is that? It ain't good enough now to have your tribe, which I'm down with. Jacob, Israel, I'm down with. But I'm going to walk around here with, imagine me got the truth. I got woke up at 2043 Thoreau Street in Los Angeles. Imagine me walking around here with 2043 Thoreau Street. Then I went to the school. Tahar was writing me and sending me video, VHS cassettes, and the small cassettes, audio cassettes. And one of the cassettes, the first one, he said, listen to this first. And it was him talking to me. Because I had wrote the school, man, way back in 80-something. And this is when Tahar was, I guess it was the media department. I don't know if they called it the media department of communications. But I wrote a letter to the school for her that flyer, and I had already been in the truth, man, for like a year, 2 years. And I wrote the school, and he wrote me back and sent me a care package of videos and lessons, man. I was like, man, these brothers is on the level, man. That's why I quit my career. I didn't have no penny ass job. I was working in corrections, man. I had all the niggas, that shit the niggas be looking for, the benefits and time off and all that stuff that you're gonna go in and then I was already moving up into the system. 2 years, I was up in there. So I quit that because of the word. I wasn't walking down 42nd Street and heard them brothers and decided to start go uptown to the school. I got this knowledge when I was out on the West Coast, and then I went to the school. I was looking for a place to go, and that was the last place that I ran into, and it was Ariala and them tapes that them brothers sent me that showed me, okay, this is the one that's opposed to all these other ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop all of these lies, like the Most High is only dealing with this one group. He is dealing with one group. The name of that group is Jacob. The name of that group is Israel. Go ahead, brother, read on down, call it out.
It says, for forward thoughts separate from the Most High.
Now the brother's going to read the definition of forward.
Forward, habitually disposed to disobedience.
Now hold on. Habitually disposed to disobedience. So how are you being disobedient? By exalting yourself, whether you think that is or not. You go on and calling for everybody to come back to one school. The Most High just got through saying that the schools are going to be in all the countries. That ain't practical. Everybody going to come and get under. Never mind. That's between us. Just going to say this out. Those are the disobedient steps. The scriptures say, exalt not thyself. That's what you've been doing, huh? That's what the whole damn, that's what them 5 letters have been doing. Running around here putting in the film. There was a time when the men, I don't know who was doing it, but before they would put the film or the lesson would get started, they would put, if it is not of ISUPK, it's not the Lord. They would also put the disclaimer that they're not affiliated with any other Israelite schools, and then they would put the Acts, the chapter of Acts, and say, do not try this at home. That's my biggest thing. What, nigga, don't try what? I thought these niggas get ready to fucking jump some chainsaws and torches. I thought they was going to be doing some Venice Beach stuff. This nigga going to juggle a tire iron and a fucking monkey wrench or some shit. But it turns out, they would say, do not try this at home, and they just be reading the Bible, teaching people. So when I ain't supposed to read the Bible now, because I'm not with the ISUPK, I'm not supposed to try this at home, like reading the Bible? How else do you show the Most High that you want the knowledge? Even if you're ignorant, that you catch the Most High's attention by slaving over that book and falling asleep in it like we all did before we got woke up. You're making it seem like you're getting ready to do some magic. You're making it seem like you're getting ready to blow some minds. All of that is the ways in which people exalt themselves. The ways in which people carve out this so-called spiritual exclusivity. like it's only us. That's how you're being disobedient. Read on down, huh?
It also says forward. It says willfully contrary.
Willfully contrary. And contrary means what? Opposite. To do it the other way. To go the other way. To have a contrary opinion. To have a contrary notion. So the scriptures say those thoughts separate from the Most High. The Most High said, be humble, you exalt yourself. That's forward, man. The Most High said Israel going to be scattered, and I'm going to be into them a little sanctuary in all the countries. You say, no, it's only ISUPK. That's contrary, nigga. Go ahead, I'll read the scripture.
For forward thoughts separate from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise.
Yeah, so that's not wise. And now what's the difference in wisdom and foolery? Both parties have the same knowledge. You find that out by what? By the foolish man that built his house on the sand, and the wise man that built his house on the rock. What was the difference between the two of them? They both had the same knowledge. The scripture said, "What shall I liken the man that have that heareth these sayings and do them?" Right? Then he goes to tell you about the man that built his house on the rock. Then he comes back and says, "But what shall I liken the man that have this knowledge and do not these words?" It's the same thing with the 10 virgins. 5 of them was wise, 5 of them was foolish. But what distinguished them? They both had the same expectation, but 5 of them did the right thing with that expectation, the oil in the lamp. That's a parable. And the other 5 knew that the master was coming and did the same thing, but didn't get the oil to keep the lamp on. So that's why the scriptures say his power reproving the unwise. I mean, you know better, but you won't do the right thing. Continue on.
For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter.
Now, malicious is what? Malicious is the intentional evil doing to somebody. Yeah? Malice is look it up. Which is a good thing about these dictionaries. And you guys know good well, we was going to finish up the whole Daniel chapter
7, right?
25. We was going through the timeline of Egypt so that you could see Israel didn't spend no 400 years or 430 years in affliction. We weren't afflicted in ancient Egypt. We weren't afflicted over anything more than 144 years. And that's the timeline. So we had went through the timeline all the way up until how much time Abraham spent in the land of Canaan, which was 75 years. We found out that Isaac spent another 105 years after him, which came to 205 years. And then Jacob spent another 10 years in the land of Canaan in his time after the death of his father and grandfather, which came to what? 215 years. And so of the 430 years that it tells you in Exodus chapter 12 and verse 40 and 41, Israel only spent 215 years in the land of Goshen. The other 215 years was spent in the land of Canaan, which was part of the Egyptian kingdom also. And that's why it's counted as it's counted and included in the 430-year period of the sojourning of Israel in Egypt. So that's what we really wanted to get to. But starting to just listening to this video about people, Israelites telling people to take the damn vaccine and then scoffing at the idea that or the microchip, because you won't even know it until they start implementing the conditions, man, until they start imposing the ultimatums. And you recognize those ultimatums in yourself, telling people that they ain't going to be able to read up on their whatever the food stamp cards is, and other things, and other necessities that will be withheld from you from not taking the COVID. You even said so yourself. Now they ain't going to even be able to leave the house. You said their hair going to be wrapped up like a mummy. That's why we're on this class tonight, y'all, because I know the age of information, YouTube, y'all brothers, everybody, sisters gonna come across that video and it's gonna throw you off. And that's why I'm going over the scriptures. This nigga wasn't even reading no scriptures about that. It just was going back and forth, jibber jabbing and jaw jacking and jiving like a bunch of old 70 niggas. said 1970 niggas just jaw-jacking, shucking and jiving. You're supposed to read scriptures, man. Nobody want to hear what you got to say. Where we at, though, y'all? You get ready to read malice, right?
Malice, desire to inflict injury, harm, or suffering on another, either because of a hostile impulse or out of deep-seated meanness.
See that? That's talking about intention a lot. The Most High said, from a malicious soul, the spirit of wisdom. Read that again, man. Verse 4.
For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin.
Now, why is this so important? Because it's through wisdom the Most High communicates to us. Now, I'm going to prove that real quick. Don't go nowhere. Well, you're going to go somewhere. You're in Wisdom of Solomon 1, but you're going to go to chapter 6. We ain't going to read a whole lot. We're just going to read the verse that pertains to that. We're going to go to chapter 6, Wisdom of Solomon, and we're going to read, let's see. You're going to read verse 12 all the way down to 16. But you're going to read, just read verses 12 to 16. This is why it's so important. These are the implications of the perils of wisdom fleeing a malicious soul, because it's through our thoughts that wisdom comes to us. And wisdom is another name, another word, another title for the Spirit of Christ. I can prove that. That's Proverbs chapter 8. People don't understand this is all about Yahweh Shai and nothing or nobody else. Yahweh Shai is the word of the Most High. The whole book, Old and New Testament, is all Christ. People think it's just the New Testament. In the Old Testament, Christ was called the Word. And that was him who the Most High used to come to the prophets. He was the word of the Most High. Read on down, Yah.
Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yeah, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She preventeth them that desire her.
When it says prevent, it means it prevents us from making those mistakes. It prevents us from entering into the wrong path. Because we all we all reading the same book. How come some people think it's the chip, and other people think it's this, and other people don't believe? It's because nobody really understands that we're supposed to wait. We don't have to fucking be trying to make people think we know everything by telling them what it is. Let's wait. Let's keep our eye open to see what are the conditions that the Bible say the mark is accompanied by. And we know that it's imposed with ultimatums. You ain't gonna buy or sell. That means you'll be excluded from all forms of commercial activity. It don't just mean buying some beans and selling some beans. It means all the things that you got to pay money for. It's all commercial activity. And so far, they are talking about that being what? The decision, or that being the act that must be done for anyone to be able to be integrated into a society that's moving forward post-COVID. They starting to call this damn generation COVID, the COVIDians. Y'all ain't heard that already? So that means we don't have to tell people what it is. We're supposed to be too busy on coming together to keep our eyes open to find out what is it that accompanies not being able to be included, right? What accompanies, what is it that if you don't do, you are punished by exclusion from commercial activities? Then we're on here mocking people that's just investigating, not people that's supposed to investigate. Christ said, be vigilant. Israel, I used to say to my sons, when you say this, I don't even know why the Most High loves us, and I don't. I do know why, because of his word and Abraham, his friend, because we are shit. We don't deserve anything. And the Most High tell us that in Ezekiel 36. He said, for this, I don't do this for you. I do this for my name's sake, that you done polluted among the heathen. I do this not for you. Then he tells us what it is that he's doing for him and not for us. And that's going to clean us up, can save us. And that's because every man is too much trying to make it about him. Whether he knows it whether he's conscious of it or not. He's trying to be too important. He's trying to matter too much. He's trying to be too significant. Go ahead, Ak.
She prevented them that desire her in making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his door.
That's talking about once you show the Most High that you really want the right way to live, the Most High make it easy for you to get it. That's what that's saying. Because that's what wisdom teaches us. That's what we acquire. Go ahead.
To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care.
That means to exercise and acquire this wisdom. Once you got the wisdom and you exercise it, that means you be without unnecessary problems. Care is worries. Go ahead.
For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought.
So that's why the Lord is telling you how he operates with us. Once we get this word in us and we obey and we stay in our place and we stay in our lane and we serve, the Most High comes to us through his knowledge in all of these random that we think are random thoughts, but they're not random. Your spirit is linked in with the Most High through Christ now. So why do you say, well, today I'm gonna walk a different way? And you walk a different way and you find out something happened on that other road, huh? That'll be the Most High working through you in Christ through your thoughts. And then other times you don't listen to it and you say, damn, I knew I should have listened. I have my own expression. I'll be saying, man, I end up kicking myself in the butt. I used to go through this my first few years in the truth. I didn't know how the spirit operated. I didn't understand that it was operating through thoughts. And I just used to count them as random thoughts. And I would ignore them. And I would always pay the price, always. And then I had to study more and find out the Most High deal with us in our thoughts. That's why we have to, that's why we're not supposed to be all up into any old knowledge. That's why the scriptures say, drink waters out of thine own cistern. We're supposed to be dealing with other philosophies and other books, other knowledges. If a nigga can't pull his ass out of Egyptology, I ain't about to go study no Egyptology to make this nigga see the truth. Fuck him. That's how I feel about it. Niggas so into the Egyptians, fuck him then. Let the Egyptians save his ass when niggas start dying. When all the people start dropping dead from the plagues, let the Egyptians come and save his ass. I ain't about to go and become an Egyptologist so I can be equipped to convince niggas that can't see simple Deuteronomy 28:68. That's just my personal thing. That's just me. That don't apply to nobody else. That's just me. I'm not about to get all of these other studies and fill my head with a bunch of stuff that don't pertain to me. That shit waters me down. I got this whole demographic of the conscious community. I got to go and show them that God is not the woman. If them niggas can't see half the niggas sitting on death row is in there because of women. The devil is more likely who she is. What the hell is wrong with you? The black woman is God. Well, what did you tell her to deliver us already? But she too busy loving this hell. So I'm not about to go through all of these, anything outside the scriptures. If I can't use the scriptures, if the scriptures don't work on them, showing them that the woman is not God, brother, they can kiss my ass. That's just how I feel about it. Why? Because I'm not getting pulled too far away. I'll go out my way to a degree, but it's all going to be in the Bible and Bible related. I'm not giving a damn about all of these other philosophies. I ain't trying to come across like I know something. I ain't trying to come across like I'm some kind of scholar. I'll be the first to tell you, man, I don't know that. And I ain't trying to learn it. I'm not interested in it. Well, I don't fine, brother. Go on and do your life, man. Live you, do you, nigga. Like I'm personally responsible for this imbecile that can't see something as plain as Deuteronomy 28:68. Go ahead, brother. Keep on reading.
For the very truth.
Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought.
So now go back to chapter 1. So the Most High is telling us how he what guides us. He's telling us how he communicates with us. And this is why it's so important to not what? To not have our minds littered with so many other things and doctrines and practices and circles of people. And that's why we can't be adding all of these different practices in Israel. Okay, brother, you read verse 4. Read verse 4 again in chapter 1.
Verse 4, for into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
So that means what? The Most High will not, he will disengage from communicating to you through your thoughts because you have disengaged from the obedience of the scriptures. That's our connection with the Most High. Our scriptures connect us with Christ. Christ is our conduit or liaison or our advocate before the Most High. When we start doing other things and start making it about us or allow it to be made or perceived that it's about us or that we're something more than what we are, brother, we're losing communication out with the Most High. And so he give us up to our own thoughts. And before you know it, we run around here trying to convince niggas to take the vaccine because you ain't going to be able to do the things. Basically, we start explaining the mark of the beast while saying it's not the mark of the beast. All right, brother, last one I'm going to go to. I'm already over my time, but I'm going to steal some more time, make up for the beginning. I want to go to Ecclesiastes. I'm going to find it first, where the Most High tell you, well, I got to walk right to it, y'all. Let's go to chapter 24 of Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha. And we're going to read verses 1 through 12. Now, why do I say this? So that we can see there's nobody in Israel that could claim that their sanctuary, give a damn how old it is in America, is the home of the truth. The home of the truth, the Most High is going to tell you where the home of the truth is. It ain't in no one brother, it's in the nation. And then that nation was planted in a place who the Most High decided to put one of them cities, his name on that city, Jerusalem. That's the home of the truth. Read on down. Start off at verse 1.
Because 24 verse 1, wisdom shall praise herself.
Oh, there we go again, wisdom. Because why they say wisdom? One of these days, we're going to go and read and break down Proverbs chapter 8, and you're going to see that it's talking about Christ. It's just another name, another title for Christ. Go ahead.
And shall glory in the midst of her people. In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power.
So the wisdom is talking about the truth. You can't be wise. The scriptures say the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. So wisdom is what? The knowledge of the truth properly applied. What is foolishness? The knowledge of the truth improperly applied. Like I said, all you got to do is go read the parable of the 10 virgins and the parable of the man that built his house upon the rock and the man that built his house upon the sand. Both of those served as definitions as to what wisdom is. And it leads you to the understanding that wisdom is the correct application of knowledge to one's profitability, right? And foolishness is the incorrect or the ignoring of the knowledge. You have it, but you won't use it properly. And so you don't benefit, and neither do those that depend on you or that are shepherded by you benefit. We almost done, y'all. Stay with me. Go ahead.
It says, I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud.
Now, give me a verse. Give me a verse to show you that's talking about Christ. What comes out of anybody's mouth? Is he talking about spit?
No.
Did the Lord sneeze? It's talking about John chapter 1. It's talking about the word. That's talking about Yahweh Shah. That's what came out the mouth of the Most High. Christ, the word. Go ahead.
I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep, in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation. I got a possession.
Meaning I'm the one that made all of these things. Because when you read Colossians, the Colossians tell you that Christ made all those things. It was made by him and for him. We're his possessions. Go ahead.
With all these I sought rest.
He said, with all of this power and with all of this omnipresence, I still wanted to rest. I wanted a place to be mine. I wanted a place that I know this is where I belong. With all of these, go ahead.
And in whose inheritance shall I abide?
And in whose inheritance shall I abide? The Most High was trying to determine what nation am I going to give this virtue to? And this is true because Christ came out of what nation? He came out of Israel. He didn't come out of Elam. He didn't come out of Edom. He didn't come out of Persia. He came out of us. Go ahead.
So the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel.
What is a dwelling? Is it not a home? Israel and Jacob is the home of the truth. That's who the home of the truth is, huh? Ain't no damn building. Continue.
He created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I serve before him, and so was I established in Zion.
See that? I was established in Zion. That's Israel. Home of the truth, baby. Yahiquab, Yasher Allah. All of the tribes, all 12 of them. Go ahead.
Likewise, in the beloved city, he gave me rest, and in Yerushalayim was my power.
Yeah, not on no damn 125th Street. Maybe if it was 125th Street in Jerusalem, but not no damn Harlem, not Los Angeles, nowhere in Babylon. Like the home of the truth is the Most High's people and the city that he planted his name. Go ahead. It's time to start breaking these damn lies down. This is ridiculous. It's gone too far. It has. It's gone too far. Go ahead.
And I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance.
There you go. That's enough. I'm ending it tonight on that. Y'all, we'll get back on track tomorrow or next Friday. Talk to a war man. Tell him I apologize.
I got you, bro. Shalom.
You could title this one, Damn the Vaccine. Shoot.
Kana.
I ain't lying. Damn the vaccine or something to that effect, you know?
I let them know to type that in. I'm about to
Cursed be the vaccine. I'm brother, that might be too strong for him.
Kana.
All right, brothers. Love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on next Friday, all right?
All right. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Hey, shalom.
I gotta holler at you real quick.
All right, cool.
All right. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Hey, shalom.
I gotta holler at you real quick.
All right, cool.